Pritzker has signed a new law that requires insurance companies to provide specific information concerning how they set their rates to the Illinois Department of Insurance. The department will then have the authority to approve, modify, or disapprove rates that it determines to be unreasonable. The governor and House Democratic leadership noted that the legislation would work to protect the health of Illinoisans. Into the
news.
Weather.
92.7 WMAY. Springfield's news and talk.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story, Governor J.B. Pritzker has signed a new law that requires insurance companies to provide specific information concerning how they set their rates to the Illinois Department of Insurance. The department will then have the authority to approve, modify, or disapprove rates that it determines to be unreasonable. The governor and House Democratic leadership noted that the legislation would work to protect the health of Illinoisans into the future. The Central Illinois Food Bank would like everyone across the community to consider rounding up their purchase next time they buy groceries at Hy-Vee. The two organizations are teaming up as part of the Hy-Vee 100 Million Meal Challenge to get meals to individuals and families who are food insecure, which, according to the Central Illinois Food Bank, is approximately 1 out of every 9 people across Central Illinois. Find out more at Hy-Vee.com. Poor air quality, like we experienced earlier this week, can cause health problems for vulnerable populations. Dr. Brian Reichart of HSHS Medical Group noted during a press conference on Wednesday afternoon that the number of particles per cubic meter in the air was about 7 times what experts say is healthy, and that work and other activities should be rescheduled or done with mask protection where and when possible. Springfield Fire Department Chief Ed Canny and Hazardous Material Response Team Leader Bryce McCormick and former Fire Marshal Chris Richmond moderated a discussion at the Citizens Club of Springfield, where they explained strategies used to respond to hazardous spills. They described a hypothetical scenario involving a tanker truck and several other vehicles at the I-55 Stevenson interchange. Fire Chief Canny and Fire Captain McCormick noted that such hypotheticals are a common tool used in emergency response preparedness. Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
X with a double X battery, generations of power. Batteries of all shapes and sizes, excellent service, exceptional value.
They're called Motobat batteries, and we have them at Rex. Motobats are batteries for motorcycles that are powerful enough to handle all your accessories. As you add new gadgets to your motorcycle, the standard factory battery may not be enough to handle it all. The Motobat battery is designed to send enough juice to the whole motorcycle and keep you moving down the road. At Rex Battery, we have all kinds of batteries for all kinds of vehicles. The Motobat battery has a quad flex terminal design, shortening the path to the battery cable. That means you get quicker power delivery and improved starting ability. If you have a motorcycle, you need Motobat. Rex Battery on Clear Lake, just west of Dirksen.
X with a double X battery, generations of power.
As you know, we mention historical events all the time here, right? Mm-hmm. This might be the most incredible we mention all year. It's the anniversary of Charles Blundene's conquest of Niagara Falls. Now, this is a guy who went across Niagara Falls on a tightrope, okay? Mm-hmm. And then, after that, he crossed blindfolded, pushing a wheelbarrow, carrying a man on his back and then on stilts.
Who's the guy that's going to go on his back? I mean...
That's braver than he is.
Yes.
Here's Green Toyota's own Casey Lane.
Gosh. Our inventory is back. We've got lots of new vehicles like this 2023 Toyota RAV4 LE. It's all-wheel drive, and of course it's always great to have all-wheel drive, and we've got all sorts of weather around here. So come on down. You can take a test drive today. It's in stock and available.
You know, if I was going to cross with a guy on my back on a tightrope or across Niagara Falls, it would be the lightest guy I knew. We're on West Wabash. Remember, at Green Toyota, Volkswagen, Audi.
We're all in this together.
92.7 WMAY.
Springfield's news and talk.
Chance of afternoon showers and thunderstorms today with a high near 89. Storms continue into tonight with a low of 69. Saturday, afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms likely with a high near 87, low around 67. Sunday, showers likely and possibly a thunderstorm with a high near 81. And Monday, sunny with a high near 87 degrees. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Hendricks Home Furnishings grand reopening kicks off with an open house Saturday, July 1st. I'm Jennifer Hendricks. Come celebrate with giveaways and complimentary lunch. Register to win a Lazy Boy sofa, 2 separate Lazy Boy recliners, gift certificates, and cash prizes. See factory authorized discounts from brands like Craftmaster, Southern Motion, Canadell, and more to update your home. Come by July 1st for food giveaways and big time savings. Hendricks Home Furnishings, Route 4, Vernon.
Well, it is Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. We've had severe weather through the area in the past 24 hours, causing all kinds of damage. And to give us an assessment and an update on a state of emergency that was issued yesterday, let's talk with Springfield Mayor Misty Buscher. Mayor, thanks for taking time. A lot of damage to look at and to clean up. What are we looking at across the city?
Good morning, Greg. Yes, still lots of damage to clean up across the city, as you are stating. The majority of our issues now have just gone down to city water, light, and power and public works issues. City water, light, and power, we still have almost 36% of our customers without power within the community. And then due to that is the downed live power lines, as well as just regular power lines. And that's causing a lot of trouble throughout the city for folks to travel the road safely, get places, which is why we put the curfew in place just for the safety of our citizens because of those live lines that are out there. The Springfield Police Department handled over 224 calls to service because of the storm in the few hours that ensued. So our fire department had 111 calls in the queue. It was just a lot of activity at the time because of those strong winds that took place.
So we've got the state of emergency that you issued yesterday. Of course, the curfew was overnight, lifting this morning at 5 a.m. Do you foresee a curfew being extended for this evening?
What we decided in the command center yesterday was that we would assess what was going on this morning and this afternoon, to determine if it was needed. Again, it was the curfew was in place for safety of our crews trying to get city water, light, and power out to deal with those live wires, and then for the community. And I drove around town about 10:30 last night. The laborers' response disaster recovery team was out yesterday afternoon, all night last night. So I was talking with them and seeing what they were dealing with cleanup. And there's just so many power lines that were down in areas and neighborhoods without power that it's dangerous to even try to travel down the roads, because you cannot see the debris in the roads. So City Water, Light, and Power worked overnight, and I am due in 3 minutes at the sewer barn at Public Works to go meet with my staff there. So,
well, we won't keep you any longer. Obviously, with the state of emergency still in place into the weekend, people are definitely going to need to keep up to date. Springfield Mayor Misty Buscher, greatly appreciate you taking the time with us this early in the morning, and we'll keep updated. All right.
Okay, and we will keep you updated as well. And I know that our team tried very hard yesterday to do that, and we'll continue with that today, Greg.
Appreciate it. Be safe out there. It is Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. We will connect with Sheriff Jack Campbell coming up next. Right now, though, it's 6:13 on WMAY.
50% off everything is yours for a limited time through July 6th during the Endless Summer event at Banana Republic Factory. Celebrate the season with linen suiting, breezy dresses, timeless neutrals, and more. Only at your nearest Banana Republic Factory store.
Are you more concerned about crime than you were a year ago? You're probably not alone. But this rising wave doesn't have to catch you off guard. Barcom Security is protecting more Central Illinois homes and businesses every day. Being proactive and dealing with it now will keep you and your family more secure. Make it your next call. Contact the Springfield office of Barcom Security for a free estimate and have a secure day.
This is the Crime Stoppers Crime of the Week, sponsored by Barcom Security.
Hi, I'm Officer Drew Zabados, Crime Stoppers Coordinator for Sangamon and Menard Counties. This week, Crime Stoppers wants to make you aware of our next event. Come join us at the Levitt Amp Springfield Music Series taking place on the Y Block on July 6th, with music starting at 6:30 from Chris Camp and his Blues Ambassadors, followed by James Armstrong to close the evening. Crime Stoppers will have a stand set up, and we would love for you to stop by and say hello. We will have a variety of handouts, including pocket-sized insect spray repellent and collapsible frisbees and coloring books for the kids. We look forward to seeing everyone and talking with you about Crime Stoppers. If you have any information regarding any crime, call Crime Stoppers anonymously at 217-788-8427. Submit a tip on our website, cashfortips.us, or use the P3 mobile app. If your tip results in an arrest, you could receive a cash reward up to $2,500. Remember, Crime Stoppers only want your information, not your name.
Catch a criminal, get a reward. Crime Stoppers of Sangamon and Menard County. Sponsored by the Springfield office of Barcom Security. BarcomSecurity.com. Have a secure day.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
Well, with high winds, straight line through Sangamon County, a lot of damage being reported this morning. And if you look at City Water, Light and Power's outage map, it's scattered all throughout the city. So electricity concerns, of course, there was a curfew overnight in the city's corporate limits. That's been lifted this morning, but the state of emergency continues throughout the weekend as crews are out and about cleaning up what was severe weather through the area yesterday. Let's get a damage assessment now from Sangamon County Sheriff Jack Campbell. Sheriff, we heard from Mayor Misty Buscher just moments ago about the number of calls they received just within the city. What's it look like around in the unincorporated areas of Sangamon County? Good morning.
The Sangamon County area was impacted by this. Initially, the western part of the county down west of Chatham was impacted. Initially, our first calls came in, but as the storm moved through, the entire county, clear to the east side, was impacted. So we had many trees down, power lines down, still residents without power then and now. So it's really a dangerous situation out there. We don't know how many roadways are still blocked by trees. You know, in the county, you have more hills and curves to go around. So we would advise drivers, if you're navigating around as you approach these hills and curves.
So when it comes to the types of efforts that are being made here, of course, you got first responders out on the scene. You've got utility crews out on the scene. You've got possibly heavy machinery moving big limbs and branches all over the place. Is there any effort to maybe follow what the city of Springfield did with a state of emergency for the county, or any kind of curfew for the county?
No, curfew was sent out last night. Again, we will meet with all the agencies today that are going to be out assisting, and our deputies clearly are going to be the front line to report back what they're seeing. But, it's going to be, again, a group effort. It's going to take all these entities working together. Again, we'll be working with the city also. Many of our unincorporated parts of the city are going to be impacted. So, again, we're just still trying to assess the overnight damage, and as the sun comes up, we'll be, making a game plan here is how we're going to attack it.
And any severe injuries across the county that you're aware of?
We did not have any injuries at this point. We did have one death that we believe is not going to be related to the storm. We sent detectives out last night and ensured that we were satisfied with what we were seeing. We believe it's going to be a natural at this point. Again, working with the coroner just to ensure that that is the case, but we do not believe it was impacted, and we received no other reports of any injuries.
Well, Sangamon County Sheriff Jack Campbell, appreciate you taking the time on short notice. I know you guys are going to be busy with damage assessments and cleanup throughout the day, so we'll be looking for some updates a little bit later on. Greatly appreciate your time this morning.
Thanks, Greg.
It is Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. And stay tuned, a lot more coming up, including conversations about the Memorial Championship presented by LRS. But we've got to get into the latest in gun ban litigation and the 7th Circuit Court of Appeals arguments yesterday. We'll hear some of that here on WMAY. It's 6:19 now from Culver's West on Wabash. And let's take a look at that forecast, where today you've got a high of 91. Chance of showers and storms still in the mix. Tonight's a low of 71. Saturday, thunderstorms likely with a high near 90. Sunday, we're looking at showers likely with a high of 82. And Monday, the high of 87. Right now, 65 degrees on WMAY at 6:19.
It's time to apply at Culver's West on Wabash. We're hiring all positions. And did we mention free food? Only at Culver's West on Wabash.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power.
Here's what we believe at Rex Battery. You should be able to find the right battery when you need it. Our company started when my dad needed a battery for his car, and he built it himself. Today, more than 50 years later, we are still making sure you can find the right battery you need. And that includes the common batteries people use every day to the hard-to-find batteries used in big farm equipment. While online outlets are struggling with supply chain issues, we have shelves full of batteries. The best part is we're right here in town and ready to help today. Hearing aids, power tools, and the car in your garage. If it takes a battery, you can find the battery at Rex Battery, Clear Lake, just west of Dirksen.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power.
Buying a new mattress shouldn't be like buying a new car. Mattress retailers reel you in with a low price, and their salespeople try to sell you something at a high price. Or they'll use huge price reductions, and their salespeople will say something like, "This set was originally priced at $12,000, but now, at 50% off, you only have to pay $6,000. And then there's the add-ons. There's a difference between us and them. At Verlo, you're not met at the door by a high-pressured salesperson. You actually speak with the ones that build your mattress. We understand buying a new mattress can be confusing. Our knowledgeable comfort coaches will work with you to help you make an informed decision, whether or not you buy from us. That's the difference between us and them. Make sure you stop in this month at your local Verlo mattress and save money, so you can put it under your mattress, not in it. Verlo Mattress. We're not just building a better mattress, we're building a better night's sleep for less.
John, the price of groceries is enough to send somebody into a panic mode these days.
Yeah, especially when the refrigerator goes kaput.
Even more so. We got a call from a customer who had that problem with a freezer load of those expensive groceries.
And that'll keep you awake at night just thinking about it.
Right. So, because Dick Van Dyke stocks the 100 most used parts, we were able to send a factory-trained tech out to her place to fix the problem before she lost any of that food.
And he wasn't some subcontractor either.
Trained right here locally by the team of Dick Van Dyke.
You know, one way to fight inflation?
Yep.
Keep from having to buy expensive stuff twice.
This is Dennis Regan, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store, which means you have the comfort of knowing that if anything goes wrong, we'll make it right. Wow!
Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. We stand behind what we sell. We offer so much more. Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
50% off everything is yours for a limited time through July 6th during the Endless Summer event at Banana Republic Factory. Celebrate the season with linen suiting, breezy dresses, timeless neutrals, and more. Only at your nearest Banana Republic Factory store.
Welcome to Green Certified West, where the cars we sell are simply the best. Located on the corner of Veterans and Isles, our certified vehicles will make you smile mile after mile. We've got a team that is just plain fun. Our GOAT Squad is ready to get the job done. Have you heard of the GOAT quote? We're buying cars that'll make us gloat. Simply log on to greencertifiedwest.com and take a look. Your instant GOAT quote offer will be off the hook. So would you shop for your next ride with the GOAT Squad at Green Certified?
Your home is the place where you know your loved ones are secure. But the things that keep your home protected can't keep Pest at bay. That's where RAID comes in. For 60 years, RAID scientists have worked to protect people around the world. With trusted research, ingredients, testing standards, and product efficacy, RAID seeks to create a better future for all. Especially the ones you love most. RAID. Protection for all.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. And in the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. Timeshare is the only thing that you can buy that you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. The crazy thing is, this never ends. Even when you die, your family's now going to be stuck with this burden. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. 800-990-3434. 800-990-3434. 800-990-3434.
Listen and watch the interviews with today's newsmakers on Facebook and YouTube. Like and subscribe now. Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY.
Well, with severe weather crossing across central Illinois, we've got tens of thousands of people out of power, but that doesn't slow down the news. Of course, we'll keep you updated on the latest developments on the damage assessment when we get it here for central Illinois. But across the states, a lot of attention was on what was going on up in Chicago at the 7th Circuit Court of Appeals, where the consolidated cases from the Southern District and the Northern District challenging Illinois' and local gun and magazine bans was heard by a 3-judge panel on the 7th Circuit Court of Appeals. Well, that was broadcast on YouTube, and we've got some of that for you. And let's go ahead and hear from the state's attorney that was there with the Attorney General's office talking about the arguments that they're making in this case.
I'm Deputy Solicitor General Sarah Hunger, and today I will be presenting argument on behalf of the state parties.
And the Deputy Solicitor General provided her argument.
We know from Bruin that courts must begin by assessing whether the regulated instrument is protected by the plain text of the Second Amendment. We also know from both Bruin and Heller that not all instruments fall within that category. The instruments must be arms, they must be bearable, and they must be in common use for self-defense. The instruments at issue here do not satisfy that standard for at least 2 reasons. First, large capacity magazines are not arms. They are accessories that are not necessary to the operation of any firearm.
And I take it when you say that, you understand some sort of ammunition feeding device needs to be there, but it could be a 10-round device, not a 30-round or something bigger.
Yes, of course, Your Honor. At issue here are only the large capacity magazines that are restricted by the Act. The Act does not restrict anybody's ability to use a magazine to operate their firearm.
So you can hear at least some of the arguments there, and the justices on the 7th Circuit Court of Appeals asking questions as the attorney is providing her argument. And you had that happening all throughout the nearly hour-and-a-half hearing of arguments in defense of the law and arguments against the law. And we'll get to the arguments against the law here in a bit, but one thing that the state made clear in their arguments was trying to relate AR-15s to M16s and fully automatic versus semi-automatic, and they say it's not much of a distinction.
That's correct, and that's a really important point, Your Honor, because assault weapons are virtually identical weapons to M16s, but for one thing, which is that M16s can use automatic fire instead of semi-automatic fire. And sure, that is a distinction, but it is not one that's constitutionally determinative.
So that's the argument the state's making. Ultimately, there was another argument that was made from a different attorney at the 7th Circuit Court of Appeals yesterday.
My name is Assistant State's Attorney Jessica Scheller, and I will be presenting argument this morning on behalf of the county defendants.
And there was an argument made about regulating gun power as an historical analog to why gun laws are allowed. And you had a little bit of pushback from Frank Easterbrook in this particular argument.
Isn't the why for gunpowder, though, different than the why here? I'm on the second step of Bruin.
Yes, of course.
The why for gunpowder was to prevent fires and explosions. That's why they limited it, right? Isn't the why here different, whether it's public violence generally or a segment of public violence?
But the county attorney there said, well, it's, yes, different, but it's still about, things that can cause mass casualty events, and that's the connection they make with why they say they can prohibit the sale and possession of certain semi-automatic weapons. Well, now it's time for the plaintiffs to get up and make their arguments, and their arguments were really based off of a decision by Bruin and the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association versus Bruin in New York that was ruled on by the U.S. Supreme Court last year. Here's the attorney representing plaintiffs.
Good morning, Your Honors, and may it please the court. Erin Murphy, counsel for the Barnett plaintiffs.
And she started providing her arguments, and ultimately, Easterbrook broke in.
So I'd like you to consider the ban on machine guns in 1938. Was that unconstitutional? because in 1938, machine guns were in common use, much as the AR-15 is in common use now.
I don't think so for two reasons. First, they actually were not nearly anywhere near as common as the AR-15s today. As the state's own expert has said,
there are a lot more weapons altogether now than then.
Certainly, but as the state's own expert said, they were not particularly common at the time. But more importantly,
they were especially common in Chicago.
What Heller said is that the reason they could be prohibited is because they were not typically possessed by law-abiding citizens for lawful purposes. Those are the precise words that Heller used in the specific context of explaining why Miller was consistent with the historical tradition of prohibitions on dangerous and unusual weapons. The court said what was different about machine guns was they were not typically possessed by law-abiding citizens for lawful purposes.
So Murphy continued on with some of her arguments, and the back and forth also continued with Easterbrook.
But what we are talking about here, these types of rifles that the state has banned, they're the second most popular type of firearm on the market after semi-automatic pistols. They're 3 times more common than revolver sales. They're twice as common as shotgun sales, twice as common as non-semi-automatic.
But that gets back to Judge Easterbrook's point about the Tommy guns and the like. I think just because, so your feeling is, whatever it is that's popular, maybe grenades are going to be popular soon. That means that people have the right to keep and bear grenades.
Grenades seem to strike me as something that is more arguably not a bearable arm in the sense of a firearm that...
No, a grenade is an easily bearable arm. That's the whole point.
Well, others are making the point, and this wasn't brought up in court, a grenade is indiscriminate. There's lots of collateral damage, different from a rifle that is very much a targeted instrument. But that argument wasn't clearly made. However, you had Easterbrook make, I think, statements that indicate to a lot of observers where this case is ultimately going to go. And the observers are saying that it looks like these appellate judges are going to side with the state and uphold the law. Here's Easterbrook.
Bruin confronted the question that was confronted in Bruin, which had nothing to do with arms like the AR-15. That's why both Justice Kavanaugh and Justice Alito filed separate opinions saying Bruin decides only what it decides, what it's presented. There wasn't any question in Bruin about what is a protectable arm.
So the conversation continued with other plaintiffs' attorneys. Thomas Magg, he was there, and he brought up the issue of how this is not about grenades, this is not about bazookas or anything of that sort.
Perhaps I want to start out by saying we're not here talking about Stinger missiles, bazookas, or the like. Frankly, I'm aware of no law outlawing them. National Firearms Act might tax and register.
There is, in fact, a specific federal statute about grenades.
National Firearms Act. It's
also
tax
includes
statute.
body armor and a bunch of other things.
A bazooka, they're on the market, they're taxed and registered, as are pre-1986 machine guns, of which there are about 200,000 in civilian hands right now.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not here talking about rocket launchers and grenade launchers. In fact, machine guns at the federal level weren't banned until 1986. They were taxed and registered starting in 1934 by the federal government, but remained on the market. The reason that there's only 200,000 machine guns in civilian hands is they're expensive. And they were regulated, not banned.
So Magg, he continued on with his points about how this isn't about bazookas or grenades. This is about semi-automatic firearms that are in common possession and common use.
Be protected.
And therefore, in your view, is the Stinger missile protected by the Second Amendment?
Probably not, because it would be dangerous and unusual.
Unusual compared to what?
Compared to anything. Even in the military, they don't issue man-pads, man-portable air defense systems like the Stinger missile to the average infantryman.
Oh, the average infantryman.
I mean, it's like nuclear weapons. Nuclear weapons, even in a military context, are rare and unusual. There might be thousands of them across the nation, but they're certainly not issued and used, at least not used since World War II.
So again, the arguments from the plaintiffs about those types of weapons that are in common use. Bazookas are not in common use for self-defense, and there's also, the issue of collateral damage versus targeted implements. So interesting to hear those arguments. So you had the state present their case, the plaintiffs present their case, and the state came back for rebuttal, and an interesting exchange between the defendant attorneys and the Judge Easterbrook here.
Right, but the rifle that made the West, the one where you could crank the pump and shoot again much more quickly than anything beforehand. And it would have a magazine of some number of rounds. It was not. It was, in a sense, like its predecessors, but in a sense, it was the AR-15 of the day. Was it protected by the Second Amendment? Is it protected by the Second Amendment today?
Our view is that certain restrictions may have been lawful, for example, on the concealed carry of those weapons, which I believe were in existence in the 19th century, which may be different than a complete ban on those weapons, which may not be protected for that purpose.
That sounds pretty fuzzy. Is that your final answer? The Supreme Court has said that the restrictions on concealed carry of revolvers and rifles of those type are constitutional, and so it does depend on I think what the restriction is. So that is my final answer.
So there you go. That was just an overview of the hour and a half long hearing that happened yesterday in the Seventh Circuit Court of Appeals. When they make a decision, who knows? It could be months, but it's guaranteed whichever the decision goes. As some observers say, it's going to go by way of the state upholding the gun ban, or it could possibly lead to an injunction. Either way, it's going to be appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court, and whether or not that falls into the timeline of when people have to register their semi-automatic weapons they had before January 10th of this year. They have to register those by January 1st. Whether there's any clarity on how this is going to be dealt with by the U.S. Supreme Court before then, that's not certain here. But that also means you could see other lawsuits filed on Fifth Amendment grounds to try to block the law from being implemented in federal courts before we get to that January 1st deadline. So there's a lot of still moving pieces here on this story, and we'll be tracking it for you on WMAY. And I'm Greg Bishop with Springfield's Morning News. Stay tuned. We've got a lot more to get to, including getting updates of what's going on with the Memorial Championship Series presented by LRS. We'll talk about that next year on WMAY.
92.7 WMAY.
Here are the three big things you need to know.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story. Power still remains out across much of Springfield and parts of surrounding communities after yesterday's strong winds, lightning, and at least 2 observed tornadoes. CWLP notes as of 5 o'clock this morning that more than a third of its customers are still without power. SMTD service remains suspended. Stay with WMAY for updates. Poor air quality, like we experienced earlier this week, can cause health problems for vulnerable populations. Dr. Brian Reichart of HSHS Medical Group noted during a press conference on Wednesday afternoon that the number of particles per cubic meter in the air was about 7 times what experts say is healthy, and that work and other activities should be rescheduled or done with mask protection where and when possible. Springfield Fire Department Chief Ed Canny and Hazardous Material Response Team Leader Bryce McCormick and former Fire Marshal Chris Richmond moderated a discussion at the Citizens Club of Springfield, where they explained strategies used to respond to hazardous spills. They described a hypothetical scenario involving a tanker truck and several other vehicles at the I-55 Stevenson interchange. Fire Chief Canny and Fire Captain McCormick noted that such hypotheticals are a common tool used in emergency response preparedness. The Central Illinois Food Bank would like everyone across the community to consider rounding up their purchase next time they buy groceries at Hy-Vee. The two organizations are teaming up as part of the Hy-Vee 100 Million Meal Challenge to get meals to individuals and families who are food insecure, which, according to the Central Illinois Food Bank, is approximately 1 out of every 9 people across Central Illinois. Find out more at Hy-Vee.com. Governor J.B. Pritzker has signed a new law that requires insurance companies to provide specific information concerning how they set their rates to the Illinois Department of Insurance. The department will then have the authority to approve, modify, or disapprove rates that it determines to be unreasonable. The governor and House Democratic leadership noted that the legislation would work to protect the health of Illinoisans moving into the future. Illinois State Controller Susana Mendoza announced on Thursday that she's depositing an additional $200 million into the state's rainy day fund. The $200 million transferred to the rainy day fund caps off the nearly $1 billion supplemental appropriation approved by the General Assembly and Governor in January. The cash balance in the state's rainy day fund now sits at nearly $2 billion, up from only several $1,000s dating back to 2018. ShotSpotter will be utilized by the Springfield Police Department for at least 3 more years, and it will cost the city just under $2 million. The Springfield City Council on Tuesday voted to renew the city's subscription to the controversial program. Mayor Misty Buscher supports the program, and the city recently received state funds to help defray its costs. Your dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
There are 3 words I always hear when someone from our staff is on the phone. We got it. Hi, it's Laurie from Rex Battery, and whenever somebody calls us and asks if we have a certain type of battery, the answer is always, we got it. Even in those very rare instances we don't, we know how to get it. And if we don't know how to get it, we'll build it. That's how committed we are to making sure you have the power you need. From model cars to real cars, from toys to tractors, dog collars to doorbells, riding mowers to remote keys. If it takes a battery, we have it at Rex Battery. Over 75,000 batteries in stock right now. So if you're wondering if we've got a battery, yep, we've got it. They're fresh, fully charged, and ready to go. Keeping Central Illinois fully powered for over 60 years. Rex Battery, Clear Lake, west of Dirksen.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power.
All time we have comes from an atomic clock.
Okay.
That is accurate to the millisecond, okay? This is leap second adjustment time today.
Okay.
Where, depending on how the Earth's rotating, you go back a second or forward a second,
Okay.
What are you going to do with all that extra time?
I know.
Hopefully see us here at Green Toyota Volkswagen Audi. Here to tell you more is Casey Lane.
We still have our 2013 Toyota FJ Cruiser. I am actually shocked it's still here because they are hard to find. It's 4-wheel drive. It only has 62,559 miles on it. It's a 2013.
Wow.
So if you've been looking for an FJ, come on down, check it out, take a test drive today.
That's right. Yeah. Again, you can leap into it here on leap second adjustment
That's
time.
right.
And you might just have a second to get it because, again, this is a very sought-after vehicle,
It is.
especially on the pre-owned side, because they're not making them anymore. We're on West Wabash. See us as soon as you can. Remember, at Green Toyota Volkswagen Audi.
We're all in this together.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone.
Done.
By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Chance of afternoon showers and thunderstorms today with a high near 89. Storms continue into tonight with a low of 69. Saturday, afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms likely with a high near 87, low around 67. Sunday, showers likely and possibly a thunderstorm with a high near 81. And Monday, sunny with a high near 87 degrees. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
We're celebrating Hendricks Home Furnishings' grand reopening. I'm Jennifer Hendricks. Our suppliers are offering special savings on nearly every line from Cannondale Dining to Hooker Furniture, Durham, Illinois-based Green Gables, and more, with seating, tables, rugs, and decor. Win a Lazy Boy sofa, recliners, gift certificates, and cash prizes. Browse our renovated, expanded showroom. Let our family put our decades of expertise to work for you with huge savings at our grand reopening. Hendricks Home Furnishings, Route 4, Burden.
This is the sound of Dan's phone. He's chatting with his bank, BOS. Dan just noticed a fraudulent purchase on his account. But Dan isn't worried. He knows BOS goes above and beyond for their customers. You can hear it in his calm typing demeanor. Yeah, he's got this. For banking support when you need it most, make the bold move and switch to BOS today. Visit bankwithbos.com. Member FDIC.
Here's one thing that psychologists and therapists believe to be a key step to achieving better mental health, and it doesn't cost a thing. Spending time outside. That's right, the natural light, the wind against your skin, the sounds and fragrances of the season all work in concert to help you feel better. Now, you can't treat clinical depression and addiction with just one step. Those are more serious problems, especially with drugs and alcohol. The team of nurses, counselors, physicians, and psychologists at Gateway Foundation understand that. They know what you're going through, and they can show you the way out. Your insurance covers treatment, and the Family Medical Leave protects your job. If your situation appears hopeless, make the confidential call to Gateway at 877-505-HOPE, 877-505-HOPE, and start feeling better today. Gateway Foundation. Addiction medicine, saving lives.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone.
Done.
By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
I'm Peter Greenberg, and this is today's Eye on Travel Minute. Airfares are at near historic highs. Hotel rates continue to soar, and yet most flights are departing the gates full, and hotels are running at about 90% occupancy. Can this be sustained? The latest research seems to indicate that it can't. Consumer credit card debt is nearing $1 trillion, and the Federal Reserve Board reports that the 90-day delinquency rate on credit cards is rising. The research also shows that the high hotel rates are beginning to affect traveler choices, with 47% of Americans now saying they're likely to stay in a short-term rental as opposed to a hotel on their next trip. Airfares? A growing number of Americans, when asked about their next trip, report they'll visit friends and relatives via car. For more information, visit petergreenberg.com. I'm Peter Greenberg, and this is today's Eye on Travel Minute. Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Designed for curious travelers. Viking offers all-inclusive voyages on all 7 continents, with no children and no casinos on board. Learn more at Viking.com.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
The plan this morning was to broadcast remotely from the Memorial Health Championship presented by LRS out at Panther Creek, but of course, after severe weather yesterday, knocking out power all over the place, we're on a generator right now back at Riverton Ranch, but still going to tell you all about the Memorial Health Championship presented by LRS. And joining us right now is Kate Peters from the tournament. She's the director, and also Kathy Struckley from Memorial Health. Thanks for taking time with us. How did you guys fare with the weather yesterday?
You know, Greg, all things considered, we feel very blessed. As we look around this morning and see the other parts of the city, we were very fortunate out here. It could have been a lot worse.
So what does it look like now moving forward for today? Game still on? You guys going to be having players take to the fields?
Yes, sir. In about 13 minutes, we will resume round 1. Players are going to be in position at 7 to finish their round, and then we'll see how much play we get done today and get round 2 started shortly thereafter. Gates are open. People are arriving. It's business as usual today. So we're really excited to welcome people back. We did opt yesterday, after the weather came through, we all agreed that it's best for everyone for us to evaluate and take a look at things and make sure it was safe. And we were very, very lucky and very excited to have people out.
Well, and talk a bit about the planning, especially when it comes to severe weather. Golf's not an indoor game. It's very much dependent upon the weather. So how does the tournament deal with, looking at the forecasts and how they make determinations on whether or not to continue?
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that the PGA Tour travels with some pretty sophisticated meteorology equipment and our own dedicated meteorologist who's watching models all at any time we have volunteers and players on course. He is watching the weather models to make sure that there's nothing building. So in our case yesterday, what really helped us was that this gentleman was able to give us about a 25 to 30 minute advance notice. We knew exactly when it was going to hit Panther Creek, and we were able to get our spectators out and get them to their vehicles and people inside before that big cell went over Panther Creek. So we have a plan in place. We have a very thorough evacuation plan for anybody that's on the golf course, and it works. So we have an evac and a revac plan, Greg, and we will be running a revac plan again this morning, taking people out and getting them ready to go for their to resume their first round this morning.
Okay, in about 10 minutes, that's when that's going to happen. Of course, anybody can get out there to Panther Creek. It is the Memorial Health Championship presented by LRS. We're talking with Kate Peters, the tournament director, but also Kathy Strukely there from Memorial Health. Kathy, talk a bit about the importance of this this tournament for Memorial Health.
Yeah, well, good morning, and thank you for allowing us to be able to share how Memorial Health is involved in Memorial Health Championship presented by LRS. We are very excited because the mission of the championship aligns perfectly with the mission of Memorial Health to build strong communities. And about 4 years ago, we partnered in a smaller way with the championship to get a look at what takes place, and we saw so much potential here to build a strong community, attract people from all over Central Illinois and even beyond, to just really give an infusion into Springfield and get our message out about improving health through improving lives through better health to a wide range of people. So very excited about that. The local partnership opportunity has just grown immensely since being a title sponsor for the past 3 years. And then not to mention the charitable giving that results from this event. Proceeds from the event do go back to the 5 foundations of Memorial Health in all 5 of our communities that we serve.
So obviously a big tournament still going on. They're going to tee off again here in about 9 minutes. Kate, tell us about how people can watch in person on the green, not on the green necessarily, but up close and personal with these professionals. How can they get to the Memorial Health Championship presented by LRS?
Right. Well, another one of our community partnerships is a great partnership that we have with Landmark Ford and Landmark Cadillac. And so people can park for free and ride the free shuttle sponsored by Landmark Ford. And parking is located at Landmark Ford out there in Prairie Crossing. Visit Springfield has sponsored free tickets for the 2nd year in a row. So really, there's absolutely no charge to attend. You don't pay to park, you don't pay to ride the shuttle, and you certainly can get in on the grounds for free, courtesy of Visit Springfield. Gates are open, buses are running. We'll have a long day of play today. We do have passes available into our all-inclusive J&J hospitality venue. Information on the tournament, including any weather updates. We're very active on our social channels, and our website is memorialhealthchampionship.com.
So get all the details, and we are expecting to connect with several other individuals throughout the program to highlight what's going on all weekend long at the Memorial Health Championship presented by LRS. Kate Peters, the tournament director, Kathy Strukely from Memorial Health. Thank you both for taking time with us today. Glad you guys are safe and glad that you're able to continue playing all throughout the weekend. So be safe out there, all right?
Thanks, Craig.
Thank you.
It is Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. Now, 6:52, and let's take a look at that forecast today, where you do have a possibility of some showers still in the mix, with a high of 91 today, the low down to 71, with a chance of storms likely. Saturday, the high of an 89, storms likely. Sunday, showers likely, with a high of 82. Back to work Monday, we're looking at a high of 87 with sunny skies. Right now, it's about 65 degrees at 6:53 from Culver's West on Wabash.
Culver's West on Wabash is hiring for all shifts and all positions. Apply today in person.
Here at Warren Boynton State Bank, we're proud to be a true community bank since 1877. We remind you that the goal of a community bank is to work together with our customers and communities to help move them forward in positive ways. When we accept your deposits, we invest that money right back into this area, into homes, farms, and small businesses. One of our primary goals is to help this community in any way we can. And because we've invested in you, our friends and neighbors, our bank is safe and sound and in business to stay. We're sincere in our care and concern for this community. Our employers, directors, and managers are people you know, people who are dedicated to making this a better place to live. Discover what a true community bank is at Warren Boynton State Bank, 3030 Spring Mill Drive in Springfield. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Warren Boynton, your bank.
Buying a new
new mattress shouldn't be like buying a new car. Mattress retailers reel you in with a low price, and their salespeople try to sell you something at a high price. Or they'll use huge price reductions, and their salespeople will say something like, "This set was originally priced at $12,000, but now, at 50% off, you only have to pay $6,000. And then there's the add-ons. There's a difference between us and them. At Verlo, you're not met at the door by a high-pressured salesperson. You actually speak with the ones that build your mattress. We understand buying a new mattress can be confusing. Our knowledgeable comfort coaches will work with you to help you make an informed decision, whether or not you buy from us. That's the difference between us and them. Make sure you stop in this month at your local Verlo mattress and save money, so you can put it under your mattress, not in it. Verlo Mattress. We're not just building a better mattress, we're building a better night's sleep for less.
Every industry has specialists, like Alan here. He knows radiators.
Radiators. I love them. Don't even talk to me about brakes or fuel lines.
Just radiators.
Radiators.
Sally is a specialist in cakes.
I think pies are an abomination.
Really? Pies?
Yuck.
Then we have Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. You know what they're great at? Appliances. Nothing else. No TVs, no computer printers, no radiators.
Who's got a problem with radiators?
Nobody, Alan, but you can't get one at Dick Van Dyke Appliance World.
Too bad. They're missing out.
I'm Dennis Regan, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. All we do is appliances. And when that's all you do it better than anyone else. Our associates on our sales floors know more about them. Our delivery people are better at installing them. And our technicians are better at fixing them. All right here in Central Illinois. Wow!
I can't believe you don't like pies, though.
What do I look like, some kind of a peasant?
No.
Cakes are really the best.
Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
50% off everything is yours for a limited time through July 6th during the Endless Summer event at Banana Republic Factory. Celebrate the season with linen suiting, breezy dresses, timeless neutrals, and more. Only at your nearest Banana Republic Factory store.
Your home is the place where you know your loved ones are secure. But the things that keep your home protected can't keep Pest at bay. That's where RAID comes in. For 60 years, RAID scientists have worked to protect people around the world. With trusted research, ingredients, testing standards, and product efficacy, RAID seeks to create a better future for all. Especially the ones you love most. RAID. Protection for all.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone.
Done.
By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Hey, business owners, recruitment is tough, isn't it? And it doesn't seem to be getting any easier. Here are some things to remember. Your best recruit is working somewhere else right now, so they're not going to be attending job fairs or browsing classifieds. Try building a profile of your best employee. Where did they come from? Then let's talk to more of those people. And use some tools that your competitors might not be. Hint, hint. Indeed discovered that a long time ago. And they're big radio users, but it's not just radio. It's that combined with targeted digital campaigns, spearheaded by local people like us, people who can visit your office or restaurant or golf course or wherever. My name's Dave Dennis. I rejoined Midwest Family a while back as an integrated marketing consultant because of the great things that can happen if you decide to talk to us. And when you do, I'll send you our newest ebook on recruitment. It's free and full of ideas on how to tackle the recruitment challenges you're facing today. Look for me at MidwestFamilySPI.com. And let's talk about your next step to business success in this changing world.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop. Listen on demand at WMAY.com. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.
Well, after severe weather yesterday, still a lot of cleanup to be had. We talked with Springfield Mayor Misty Buscher at the start of the show and also Sheriff Jack Campbell for Sangamon County, and a lot of assessment being made, a lot of power outage still across the area. Even if you just simply look at CWLP's power outage, 25,850 customers out of power at this moment, scattered all throughout the city. You go beyond that and you look at the outage map for Ameren, Illinois, and they're saying 107,000 people are without power across the state. So a lot of areas impacted all across, as you can see from the maps there. Just be safe out there. Obviously, let let the crews, be it first responders, utility crews, public works crews, give them plenty of space, and be sure to, keep yourself safe as well. And if you're out of power, be sure to stay close in communication with your utility so that you know when exactly about the time that you're able to get that power turned back on. Hopefully you all are safe after that severe weather. We'll talk more about the Memorial Health Championship presented by LRS coming up next. Right now, it's 7 o'clock on WMAY.
From the Fly SPI Studios, take the easy way out. WMAY FM, Taylorville, Springfield's News and Talk is 92.7 WMAY.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Justin Finch. The Supreme Court set to release another round of major opinions after its bombshell decision yesterday, striking down affirmative action in college admissions. On tap today, student loan forgiveness.
President Biden's plan would cancel student loan debt for more than 40 million Americans at a cost of about $400 billion. Most borrowers would have $10,000 forgiven, but Pell Grant recipients could get up to $20,000 of debt canceled. Biden's plan has been put on ice for months after some states sued, saying the administration doesn't have the authority to do this without congressional approval. Borrowers have been able to stop making payments on their federal loans, but they have to start paying up again in October.
ABC's Lindsay Watts. Also today, embattled New York Congressman George Santos heads to court, facing a 13-count indictment for fraud, money laundering, and theft of public funds. He's pleaded not guilty, but has admitted in the past to lying about his resume and personal story. Canadian wildfire smoke clogging the air in 23 states again today.
Major city skylines disappearing into a shroud of smoke from those unending Canadian wildfires. Columbus, Ohio, recording its worst air reading ever, 244 on that scale of 1 to 500. Detroit and Washington, D.C. taking the top spots for the worst air quality in the world. Officials in D.C. and Philadelphia issuing a code red.
The entire state of New York is under hazardous conditions with respect to our air quality.
New York's governor announcing a plan to send text alerts to residents' phones when air quality is dangerous.
ABC's Alex Perez. In France, President Emmanuel Macron addressing the nation after another night of violent clashes between protesters and police on the streets. This is ABC News.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Round the...
All right, this hour, we've got a couple of guests we'll talk with from the Memorial Health Championship presented by LRS. But we also got to tackle more from the U.S. Supreme Court. They released several rulings yesterday and several more expected today. What about that ruling on affirmative action for universities and colleges? A lot of reaction pouring in from Illinois lawmakers. We'll touch on that. And also, you've got another ruling that popped yesterday from the U.S. Supreme Court about fundamental Christians and working on Sundays. So stay tuned. We'll get to all of that coming here with Springfield's Morning News on WMAY. It's now 7:04. I'm Greg Bishop.
News.
Weather.
92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story, Governor J.B. Pritzker has signed a new law that requires insurance companies to provide specific information concerning how they set their rates to the Illinois Department of Insurance. The department will then have the authority to approve, modify, or disapprove rates that it determines to be unreasonable. The governor and House Democratic leadership noted that the legislation would work to protect the health of Illinoisans into the future. The Central Illinois Food Bank would like everyone across the community to consider rounding up their purchase next time they buy groceries at Hy-Vee. The two organizations are teaming up as part of the Hy-Vee 100 Million Meal Challenge to get meals to individuals and families who are food insecure, which, according to the Central Illinois Food Bank, is approximately 1 out of every 9 people across Central Illinois. Find out more at Hy-Vee.com. Poor air quality, like we experienced earlier this week, can cause health problems for vulnerable populations. Dr. Brian Reichart of HSHS Medical Group noted during a press conference on Wednesday afternoon that the number of particles per cubic meter in the air was about 7 times what experts say is healthy, and that work and other activities should be rescheduled or done with mask protection where and when possible. Springfield Fire Department Chief Ed Canny and Hazardous Material Response Team Leader Bryce McCormick and former Fire Marshal Chris Richmond moderated a discussion at the Citizens Club of Springfield, where they explained strategies used to respond to hazardous spills. They described a hypothetical scenario involving a tanker truck and several other vehicles at the I-55 Stevenson interchange. Fire Chief Canny and Fire Captain McCormick noted that such hypotheticals are a common tool used in emergency response preparedness. Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
When we open up the all-new Hyundai store on Stanford Avenue, Green Hyundai Corporation has promised Green Hyundai 350 to 400 new Hyundais a month for retail sale. So we must sell down all current new Hyundai inventory at Green Hyundai's home location on Dirksen Parkway.
To help Green Hyundai get rid of all the current new Hyundai's inventory, Hyundai Motor Finance brought Springfield 0% to Green Hyundai customers only with approved credit. They insisted Green Hyundai take their help. Hyundai then brought 3 years worth of free maintenance, oil changes, and tire rotations, sold in the month of May only.
By us selling more new Hyundais, it gets you, the consumer, more local trade-ins. Green Hyundai has 11 new Hyundais priced under $30,000, all backed up by America's best warranty.
So run, don't walk to the Memorial Day Construction Clearance Sales event only at Green Hyundai, 1200 South Dirksen Parkway across from JCPenney's.
Here's one thing that psychologists and therapists believe to be a key step to achieving better mental health: meditation. It starts with proper breathing. By breathing in slowly for 5 or 10 seconds and exhaling, counting the same way, for just a few minutes each day has been a big deal for many people as they reach a new level of relaxation. Now, that's just a start. If your feelings of depression and hopelessness are accentuated with drugs and alcohol, then you may need some professional help. The team of nurses, counselors, physicians, and psychiatrists at Gateway Foundation understand that. They know what you're going through, and they can show you the way out. Gateway also uses meditation as a key component of their successful treatment. Your insurance covers the cost, and the Family Medical Leave Act protects your job. If your situation appears hopeless, make the confidential call to Gateway at 877-505-HOPE and start feeling better today. Gateway Foundation. Addiction medicine, saving lives.
Miss an interview? Catch the podcast whenever, wherever. 92.7 WMAY is on demand at WMAY.com.
Chance of afternoon showers and thunderstorms today with a high near 89. Storms continue into tonight with a low of 69. Saturday, afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms likely with a high near 87, low around 67. Sunday, showers likely and possibly a thunderstorm with a high near 81. And Monday, sunny with a high near 87 degrees. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Patriotic spirit is here to stay with the 11% off everything at Menards. Pick up an Olympus 3x5-foot American flag today. It's made in the USA out of durable, tear-resistant material that will keep your flag flying for years to come. Show your patriotism and get yours now for just $26.69 after 11% off. Good through the 4th of July. Savings are a mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Order your sub from the new Head West in-store kiosks, and you get a free brownie. Free brownie.
I don't want the same old thing. I got a craving for a Head West brownie today. Yeah!
Get ready to rock as Broadway Under the Stars continues at the Muni, now playing Rock of Ages. This jukebox musical takes you back to the big bad 1980s, featuring big bands with big egos playing big guitar solos and sporting even bigger hair. Featuring hits from bands like Styx, Journey, REO Speedwagon, Twisted Sister, Pat Benatar, and more. Rock of Ages tells the story of a city boy and a small-town girl and how their band of friends saved the day and the music. UCB presents Rock of Ages, now playing through July 1st. Get tickets at the box office or themuni.org.
Hi, I'm Ed Lex, your Springfield Edward Jones financial advisor. There is nothing more important to me than understanding what's important to you. Only then can you and I work through our established process to build your personalized strategies and the specific actions needed to help you achieve your financial goals. I'll continue to partner with you and your family throughout your life, revisiting your goals and risk tolerance, as well as the strategies we develop to help keep you on track towards your goals. Edward Jones, making sense of investing, member SIPC.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
Still thousands of people out of power across the region, tens of thousands of people without power across the region, but some have power and they're continuing on, including the Memorial Health Championship presented by LRS out at Panther Creek. Professional golfers are teeing off and continuing on with round one, and you've got events all throughout the weekend with Memorial Health Championship presented by LRS. But let's talk now with Dr. Nicole Florence from Memorial Health and how they're keeping an eye on the health of all of the players and the caddies. And we talk now with Dr. Nicole Florence. She is with Memorial Health. Doctor, thanks for taking time with us this morning. How are things looking out there?
Yeah. Good morning. Actually, I will have to say it's pretty beautiful out here right now. And it's kind of, we who are from Springfield, Illinois, understand how quickly things can change. So it was, I think, a little interesting to see players who've never been through a tornado warning before. So they got a little lesson of what it's like to live in Springfield, Illinois.
No question. And, the saying goes, the weather can change in 15 minutes, and that was absolutely the case yesterday with that severe weather that came through. So obviously, health and safety is a chief concern for the Memorial Health Championship, but also the health of the players and their physical abilities. Doctor, tell us the types of things that you're looking for when it comes to possible injuries or strains when it comes to golfing.
Well, what we decided was we knew we had to do something very unique for the players and caddies that pass through, especially just, following the mission of our health system, just creating, healthier communities. So when the players and caddies come here, and I say and caddies because most tournaments don't provide services to the caddies. So our players and caddies are able to get physicals. They're able to get their health screenings. There's physical therapy, chiropractor care. We even had dermatology out here doing skin checks since they're higher risk for skin cancer. And so we just want to provide an array of services because these guys are on the road. They may not have access, and some of them don't have health insurance.
That's an interesting perspective that we don't necessarily think about, right?
Yes.
I mean, these guys are on the road constantly, and they're professionals aiming to get a prize if they were able to top the charts here for the Memorial Health Championship presented by LRS. But obviously, it's a concern that a lot of people have is making sure that their health care is covered. Dr. Nicole Florence with us. Talk about, I guess, the things that those who aren't professionals but yet golf. I don't golf. I can't drive a ball down the. My slice is right, left. Doesn't matter. It just does not go down the lane. So I can putt. But that's different. But talk about for those, retired, they're looking for some physical activity. How does golf help with that? And what are some of the things they need to be conscious of when it comes to their physical abilities?
Well, we also know that when you're out here, even being a spectator or playing golf, you're going to put in a lot of steps. And we know that on average, we like folks to put in at least 10,000 steps a day. We know that if you're walking 18 holes, you're probably going to put in 20,000+ steps. So increasing your activity is going to make you healthier overall. Now, for those that are playing, you definitely want to make sure that you're stretching. You've got to have really good core strength. And so keeping up with, things such like yoga, light weights, all those things will hopefully prevent any injury for those golfers that are out there.
And I would imagine, too, especially with the heat, even the humidity, you want to wear some sunscreen because of the sun. But hydration, how important is drinking water? Just plain water. Why is that so important?
Well, the heat is going to put you at risk for heat exhaustion, heat stroke, which can be very serious. We actually had 2 caddies drop last year from heat exhaustion. So you definitely want to drink your water. We have an air-conditioned bus if you want to sit and cool off. We are actually providing IV fluids for the caddies this year because we want to make sure they stay well hydrated. And, hard to do when you're carrying a bag for 18 holes,
No question, especially if the heat's going to be up to a 91, and then you've got the heat index that will stack on top of that. And even though the humidity, it's nice to have some humidity, but that can take its toll as well on the overall well-being. So, Dr. Nicole Florence, tips for people who are planning on heading out there this morning.
So definitely bring like a hat with a brim. That's going to keep you cool. You can even walk with an umbrella.
I do that all the time. I've got very fair complexion. I burn within 30 minutes of being out in the sun. There are times where I will carry an umbrella around even if it is a sunny day.
Yes, it's probably a really good thing to do. But, of course, like you said, bring your SPF. I prefer 50. I know some prefer 30, but 50 is going to give you the best protection. And you want to make sure you're reapplying at least every 2 hours. So that's going to definitely help protect you from the sun and, of course, stay well hydrated. Use electrolyte solutions like Gatorade, Powerade, or they even have little packets because you're not only losing water, but you're losing salt.
Very important things, not just when it comes to golf, when it comes to any outdoor activities as we have the rest of the summer ahead of us. Dr. Nicole Florence with Memorial Health and the Memorial Health Championship presented by LRS going on right now at Panther Creek Country Club. Greatly appreciate you taking the time with us this morning. Be safe out there, okay?
Of course. Hope to see you all out here.
It is Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. Plenty more coming up. Let's take a look at Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast, where today you've got a high of 91. Chance of showers and storms still in the forecast, including tonight. Storms likely with a low of 71. Saturday, thunderstorms likely with a high of 89. Sunday, showers likely, 82 the high. And then Monday, back to work with a high of 87 right before Independence Day. Right now, it's 65 degrees. And the sun's out. 717 from Culver's West on Wabash.
Deliver smiles, butter burgers, fresh custard, and great service. Culver's West on Wabash is hiring for all positions.
Here at Warren Boynton State Bank, we're proud to be a true community bank since 1877. We remind you that the goal of a community bank is to work together with our customers and communities to help move them forward in positive ways. When we accept your deposits, we invest that money right back into this area, into homes, farms, and small businesses. One of our primary goals is to help this community in any way we can. And because we've invested in you, our friends and neighbors, our bank is safe and sound and in business to stay. We're sincere in our care and concern for this community. Our employers, directors, and managers are people you know, people who are dedicated to making this a better place to live. Discover what a true community bank is at Warren Boynton State Bank, 3030 Spring Mill Drive in Springfield. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Warren Boynton, your bank.
Well, some of you out of power this morning. Hopefully you're able to have that radio on so that you can hear all of you need to know about the ongoing power outages. But one place not out of power where you can find some refuge is Green Hyundai. Mike Quimby standing by with Green Hyundai to talk about what they've got for you heading into the Independence Day weekend. Mike?
You're right, Greg. Hey, we got hot coffee on for you this morning. Stop by and get yourself a free cup. popcorn soda, all right in here, and the power is on full blast, internet, everything. So we were fortunate there, but many people not as fortunate. If there's anything we can do, give us a call at 217-525-1370. We do care about you, and we are kind of in limbo here, being it's the final day of the month of June. So we're a business that goes every 30 days, and we're going to do everything we can to finish the month off in a grand fashion. And wow, that means we're desperate. And you're going to get yourself a deal today. So come in here. Let us show you what we have to offer you as we try to survive the end of the month. So Green Hyundai, your car dealer, wide open, 1200 South Dirksen Parkway.
Mike Quimby, Green Hyundai, have a great weekend. All right, be safe out there.
You got it. Great, thank you.
Buying a new mattress shouldn't be like buying a new car. Mattress retailers reel you in with a low price, and their salespeople try to sell you something at a high price. Or they'll use huge price reductions, and their salespeople will say something like, "This set was originally priced at $12,000, but now, at 50% off, you only have to pay $6,000. And then there's the add-ons. There's a difference between us and them. At Verlo, you're not met at the door by a high-pressured salesperson. You actually speak with the ones that build your mattress. We understand buying a new mattress can be confusing. Our knowledgeable comfort coaches will work with you to help you make an informed decision, whether or not you buy from us. That's the difference between us and them. Make sure you stop in this month at your local Verlo mattress and save money, so you can put it under your mattress, not in it. Verlo Mattress. We're not just building a better mattress, we're building a better night's sleep for less.
50% off everything is yours for a limited time through July 6th during the Endless Summer event at Banana Republic Factory. Celebrate the season with linen suiting, breezy dresses, timeless neutrals, and more. Only at your nearest Banana Republic Factory store.
John, the price of groceries is enough to send somebody into a panic mode these days.
Yeah, especially when the refrigerator goes kaput.
Even more so. We got a call from a customer who had that problem with a freezer load of those expensive groceries.
And that'll keep you awake at night just thinking about it.
Right. So, because Dick Van Dyke stocks the 100 most used parts, we were able to send a factory-trained tech out to her place to fix the problem before she lost any of that food.
And he wasn't some subcontractor either.
Trained right here locally by the team of Dick Van Dyke.
You know, one way to fight inflation?
Yep.
Keep from having to buy expensive stuff twice.
This is Dennis Regan, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store, which means you have the comfort of knowing that if anything goes wrong, we'll make it right. Wow!
Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. We stand behind what we sell. We offer so much more. Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care would love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
The Angie's List you know and trust is now Angie, and we're so much more than just a list. We still connect you with top local pros and show you ratings and reviews, but now we also let you compare upfront prices on hundreds of projects and book a service instantly. We can even handle the rest of your project from start to finish. So remember, Angie's List is now Angie, and we're here to get your job done right. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
Take Springfield's morning news with Greg Bishop everywhere with the free WMAY mobile app. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's news and talk.
Yesterday was a big day at the U.S. Supreme Court. Today's another big day. You've got some rulings expected as they wrap up releasing the rulings from their fall hearings they held. Everything from whether or not postal workers can be forced to work on Sundays if they have religious convictions, to a landmark decision yesterday about affirmative action in colleges and universities, essentially saying you can't use race as a basis for letting someone into a university or a college. So let's get to that now, because after the ruling came out of the U.S. Supreme Court, you had lawmakers in Illinois sound off on that decision. And a lot of statements coming out about this, including from the Illinois Board of Higher Education. But the decision in the case Students for Fair Admissions Incorporated versus President and Fellows of Harvard College came down by a 6-3 vote. John Roberts, the Chief Justice for the U.S. Supreme Court, in part of his opinion, he said, a benefit to students who overcame racial discrimination, for example, must be tied to the student's courage and determination, or a benefit to a student whose heritage or culture motivated him or her to assume a leadership role or attain a particular goal must be tied to that student's unique ability to contribute to the university. In other words, the student must be treated based on his or her experience as an individual, not based on race. And that's according to Chief Justice Roberts. But as the decision was released, you had the Illinois Board of Higher Education. That's the state government board that evaluates higher education and sets policies and whatnot, and also deals with grants for colleges and universities across the state. They released a statement saying that the outcome is a bad outcome, and they condemned the ruling. They say the ruling's an attack on people of color, particularly black people, who face discrimination through multiple facets of American society. Affirmative action already was not a robust solution. It was merely a tool intended to chip away at an enormous obstacle. It's disheartening to know that there are people intent on stifling racial equity at a time when we should be working together to break down barriers, because this is the right thing to do, they said. So again, you've got an interesting dynamic here. The Supreme Court essentially said you can't be racist. You can't use race as a factor in letting people into college or universities, essentially saying affirmative action is wrong. And that's an issue that bumps up against the 14th Amendment. And we've heard these arguments for years, but the affirmative action laws have been in place since the early 60s. And the U.S. Supreme Court, this particular court, saying that that using of basis of race is unconstitutional. So you have the reactions coming in, including from Governor J.B. Pritzker, who posted on Twitter that he's opposed to this decision. And he says the decision only sets us back. But he also goes on to say that here in the land of Lincoln and the land of Obama, he says, we will continue to uplift our students of color, promoting inclusion and expanding access through record levels of funding for higher education institutions and our MAP grant programs, so that every student has the opportunity to get a degree. To students of color throughout the land of Lincoln and the entire United States, the governor says, you belong in our institutions, and no archaic ruling will ever change that. So again, that's the statement from Governor J.B. Pritzker. But you had people like State Representative Brad Halbrook release statements saying that this is a good decision. And the Republican from Shelbyville, he shared his statements with my colleague Andrew Hensel, and he said that the ruling's about fairness. Students deserve equal access and equal opportunity. Disregarding applicants simply on the basis of race is wrong, Halbrook said. It's in these unfair policies it's time that they were rescinded. The Supreme Court ruling was the right one today. But again, that's a Republican perspective. What about State Representative LaShawn Ford? He also sounded off on this and shared his comments and ultimately said that he feels that this sets the state back. And it's something that continues to be an issue when it comes to race relations. And you hear terms like systemic racism, for instance. That's something that people say is still still very much prevalent in society. But State Representative LaShawn Ford saying ultimately that it was a disappointing day. Here's some of what he had to say.
And so what we see now is the Supreme Court actually turning back the hands of time with some of the fights and gains that this country have made. And so I think that elections have consequences, and the conservative bench will continue down the path of reversing some of the gains that we've made.
Republican State Representative Charlie Meyer, he had a different take, and he says that many students were denied admission because of their race in colleges. Here's some of what Charlie Meyer had to say in reaction to what we saw happen out of the U.S. Supreme Court yesterday on affirmative action.
Today's overturning of the ruling is justifiable. It's gotten to the point that many students here that are white no longer can get into college.
So obviously a lot of back and forth, but the U.S. Supreme Court's ruling changing how universities can use race or not when it comes to admissions. So, the speculation is a lot of these universities are going to find other avenues, and there surely are other avenues that may be tested in court or may not be. Those avenues could be, we're going to look at areas that were disproportionately impacted by certain policies, and people coming from those zip codes could possibly have better access to the universities and colleges, and that may be able to bring about naturally a level of diversity. But the idea really boils down to the Supreme Court saying colleges and universities can't be racist and determining race as a factor for students to get into college. So interesting to hear that argument. There's still a lot of rulings that are expected today, including a ruling on student loans forgiveness that President Joe Biden's trying to implement, and several others. So a lot of key decisions still have yet to be released from the U.S. Supreme Court. All right, it is now 7:31, and just again to update everybody, continued power outages across the area. You've got City Water, Light, and Power with their latest saying that around 25,900 people are without power just in Springfield alone. And then when you look at the outage map for Ameren, they're looking at more than 107,600 across the state that are without power. So those severe storms blowing through, knocking down power lines and trees and a whole host of damage. Be safe out there, and hopefully you are safe and comfortable. At now 7:32, and let's get a check of headlines.
92.7 WMAY.
Here are the three big things you need to know.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story. Power still remains out across much of Springfield and parts of surrounding communities after yesterday's strong winds, lightning, and at least 2 observed tornadoes. CWLP notes as of 5 o'clock this morning that more than a third of its customers are still without power. SMTD service remains suspended. Stay with WMAY for updates. Poor air quality, like we experienced earlier this week, can cause health problems for vulnerable populations. Dr. Brian Reichart of HSHS Medical Group noted during a press conference on Wednesday afternoon that the number of particles per cubic meter in the air was about 7 times what experts say is healthy, and that work and other activities should be rescheduled or done with mask protection where and when possible. Springfield Fire Department Chief Ed Canny and Hazardous Material Response Team Leader Bryce McCormick and former Fire Marshal Chris Richmond moderated a discussion at the Citizens Club of Springfield, where they explained strategies used to respond to hazardous spills. They described a hypothetical scenario involving a tanker truck and several other vehicles at the I-55 Stevenson interchange. Fire Chief Canny and Fire Captain McCormick noted that such hypotheticals are a common tool used in emergency response preparedness. The Central Illinois Food Bank would like everyone across the community to consider rounding up their purchase next time they buy groceries at Hy-Vee. The two organizations are teaming up as part of the Hy-Vee 100 Million Meal Challenge to get meals to individuals and families who are food insecure, which, according to the Central Illinois Food Bank, is approximately 1 out of every 9 people across Central Illinois. Find out more at Hy-Vee.com. Governor J.B. Pritzker has signed a new law that requires insurance companies to provide specific information concerning how they set their rates to the Illinois Department of Insurance. The department will then have the authority to approve, modify, or disapprove rates that it determines to be unreasonable. The governor and House Democratic leadership noted that the legislation would work to protect the health of Illinoisans moving into the future. Illinois State Controller Susana Mendoza announced on Thursday that she's depositing an additional $200 million into the state's rainy day fund. The $200 million transferred to the rainy day fund caps off the nearly $1 billion supplemental appropriation approved by the General Assembly and governor in January. The cash balance in the state's rainy day fund now sits at nearly $2 billion, up from only several $1,000s dating back to 2018. ShotSpotter will be utilized by the Springfield Police Department for at least 3 more years, and it will cost the city just under $2 million. The Springfield City Council on Tuesday voted to renew the city's subscription to the controversial program. Mayor Misty Buscher supports the program, and the city recently received state funds to help defray its costs. Your dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
WMAY News, brought to you by The Inn at 835. Let The Inn at 835 handle your next business or social gathering with style.
Less frustration, more vacation. Book a nonstop flight from Springfield's Abraham Lincoln Capitol Airport, SPI, to Fort Myers, Punta Gorda at Allegiant.com and experience the sun, fun, and relaxation of Southwest Florida. Find low fares and save big by bundling at Allegiant.com. Fly from SPI and spend more time enjoying vacation. Book your flight from SPI at Allegiant.com. Fly local. Fly SPI. Take the easy way out.
Take the easy way out.
Save big money in your summer projects with 11% off everything. Larson storm doors are perfect to let the sun shine in and enjoy the fresh summer air. The Lakeview Split View storm door includes Larson's retractable screen away feature, which converts your door from a storm door to a screen door without the hassle. It's $299.99 after 11% rebate. Good through July 4th. Savings are a mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
This summer, Coors Light wants you to retire, even if it's only temporary. Take a break from your 9 to 5 for 9 holes of golf. Trade those spreadsheets for a bingo card. Or swap your office chair for a water aerobics floaty.
Cool noodles up, everyone!
This summer, welcome to temporary retirement. Coors Light, made to chill. Copyright 2023 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Hi, I'm Ed Lex, your Springfield Edward Jones financial advisor. There is nothing more important to me than understanding what's important to you. Only then can you and I work through our established process to build your personalized strategies and the specific actions needed to help you achieve your financial goals. I'll continue to partner with you and your family throughout your life, revisiting your goals and risk tolerance, as well as the strategies we develop to help keep you on track towards your goals. Edward Jones, making sense of investing, member SIPC.
Keep 92.7 WMAY on your mobile device all weekend for the latest breaking news and constant updates from ABC News. Download the WMAY app now in your Google Play or iTunes Store.
Chance of afternoon showers and thunderstorms today with a high near 89. Storms continue into tonight with a low of 69. Saturday, afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms likely with a high near 87, low around 67. Sunday, showers likely and possibly a thunderstorm with a high near 81. And Monday, sunny with a high near 87 degrees. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Hurry into the Landmark Automotive Group's 96-hour interest relief flash sale. Shop a huge selection of 2018 and newer vehicles with 3.9% financing for 72 months. Backed with that Landmark for a lifetime warranty. Offer expires Monday. Only at Landmark Automotive Group on Prairie Crossing Drive.
You always do better at Landmark.
Max amount finance $40,000. Must finance 100% or less of MSRP or JD Power and Associates retail with approved credit. Must qualify for Heartland Credit Union membership. Act fast to get the best interest rates during the Landmark Automotive Group's 96-hour interest relief flash sale. Get 3.9% financing for 72 months on 2018 and newer vehicles. Plus, get the most for your trade. Hurry in. These rates expire Monday. The Landmark Automotive Group on Prairie Crossing Drive.
You always do better at Landmark.
Max amount finance $40,000. Must finance 100% or less of MSRP or JD Power and Associates retail with approved credit. Must qualify for Heartland Credit Union membership.
What are you hungry for?
Obed and Isaac sounds good.
They're always busy.
Yeah, they are. It's because the food is great. The selection of craft beer is amazing, and it's downtown. It couldn't be at a better location.
What if we have to wait?
We'll put in our name, give them our number to text us when our table is ready, and then go next door to the 7th Street Cidery and start there.
I like the way you think. They serve meads too, right?
Yeah, they do. You can get your mead, and I'll start with a flight of cider. They're constantly getting new ciders on tap all the time.
What if Obed's isn't busy and they seat us right away?
The cidery doesn't close till 11, so we can just finish the night there.
You've got this all figured out, don't you?
Yeah, I do. You should see my reward points that I've built up.
So, you're buying, right?
I didn't say that.
That's what I heard.
No, you didn't.
Obed and Isaac's Microbrewery, located in downtown Springfield, right next door to the 7th Street Cidery. Enjoy.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone.
Done.
By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
The Memorial Health Championship presented by LRS ongoing right now, despite the severe weather breaking across the entire area with all kinds of power outages and trees down. It was quite a mess. Still is quite a mess in a lot of areas, but apparently at Panther Creek, they were spared a lot of that damage. But the tournament continues today. They teed off about 40 minutes ago to continue round one, and they're back at it. But the championship series can't continue without LRS, the chief sponsor. It is the Memorial Health Championship presented by LRS. And joining us right now is Greg Matthews from LRS to talk about the sponsorship and what it means for them and for the championship. Greg, thanks for taking time with us this morning. Let's go ahead and talk about why you guys chose to sponsor the Memorial Health Championship. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, thanks, Greg. Thanks for having me on this morning. And, yeah, what a beautiful morning. Although yesterday we had a lot of storms come through, and I know a lot of people are affected and without power. But, yeah, we're excited to be a sponsor again this year. This is our 7th year. I know the tournament's been around for 8 years. We got involved the 2nd year of the tournament. And along with our great partner, Memorial Health, we're happy to be the presenting sponsor. For us, it's important to give back to the community. Obviously, we've been based here now, I think, 43 years, headquartered here in Springfield, Illinois. And even though we got employees and offices all around the world, sticking to our home roots and giving back to our community here is something that we're all about. And this is just great environment for fans to go out and see the future stars of the PGA.
Now, Greg, for you yourself, are you a golfer?
I am. Yeah, I love to golf. And in fact, I was supposed to play this morning, but the courses are all closed with the weather yesterday. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to play today.
So what does it mean for you personally that, the company you work for is stepping up for years and, getting your guys' company's name there out on top of this?
I tell you what, for me as a golfer, it's great because when I turn on the TV and watch the PGA Tour, and you see these guys that you played with in previous years, I mean, it's an awesome experience. I'll tell you, last year I played with a guy named Ben Griffin, and anybody that's followed Ben, he's a great story. Gave up golf because financially couldn't afford it during COVID, met a guy at the course because that's all they could do is play. The guy sponsored him, played with him last year. Now he's on the PGA Tour. He's gotten second, I think, once or twice this year already. Made over $1 million. I mean, so it's fun because you get to see these guys on TV, but you get to see them here in Springfield, Illinois before the year before they turn big.
And what's so great about this tournament as well is it's essentially free. It's got sponsorships from LRS. It's got sponsorships from Visit Springfield. You got Landmark Ford and the parking opportunities and the shuttling back and forth. So make sure that if you've got some time today and this weekend, you can head out to the Memorial Health Championship presented by LRS. We're talking with Greg Matthews from LRS about the importance of them taking part and being involved in this tournament. But Greg, it's not just this tournament. LRS very integral in various community activities right here in Springfield. Talk a bit more about the importance of that.
Yeah, it's important. It's important for our community, to continue to grow and help the areas that need that. we've spent a lot of our focus in community involvement around children, around education, and those type of areas. And, we just feel that it's important for us to be able to give back. We've been very fortunate over the years. We've have had a lot of success, and obviously our employees here, we get engaged with things that are important to them. And from a company perspective, we just, that's something that's dear to our heart to give back to the community.
Greg Matthews with us from LRS, the chief sponsor of the Memorial Health Championship presented by LRS. For people who aren't familiar, you said, of course, Springfield's your home, but you got offices all around the globe. Talk about what LRS does for customers globally.
Yeah, so we're a global company. Like I said, we have over 1,000 employees, 19 offices worldwide. We've got different divisions that focus on different areas, primarily software and IT services. But our primary software is actually it's printing software. So it's not something I call it's not sexy. But most of the global Fortune 1000 companies use our software to basically manage their entire print environment. So you name the company worldwide, they probably use our software. In their locations. And that's anything from manufacturing to pharmaceuticals to even healthcare. Large health systems across the U.S. Use our system to manage their print as well.
Greg Matthews with LRS, the presenting sponsor for the Memorial Health Championship presented by LRS. Greatly appreciate you taking the time. And as somebody who golfs, what kind of advice do you have for someone like me who can't drive a ball down the lane worth to save my life?
Hey, just stay focused. As my buddy tells me, just pull back, grip it, and rip it, let it go. So, just stay down.
Right on. I guess that's some good advice, and practice makes perfect. Greg, thank you so much for taking time with us today, and be safe out there, all right?
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks, I appreciate it. You guys have a good morning.
You too. It is Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. All right, let's take a look at Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast, where today it's going to be a hot one after that severe weather knocking out power for tens of thousands of people across the area. We're looking at a high of 91 today with the chance of showers and storms still in the forecast. And then tonight, the low of 71 with showers and storms likely. Saturday, showers and storms likely with a high of 89. Sunday, showers likely, 82 the high. And Monday, 87 the high with sunny skies. Right now, 65 degrees at 746. From Culver's West on Wabash.
It's time to apply at Culver's West on Wabash. We're hiring all positions, and did we mention free food? Only at Culver's West on Wabash.
Buying a new mattress shouldn't be like buying a new car. Mattress retailers reel you in with a low price, and their salespeople try to sell you something at a high price. Or they'll use huge price reductions, and their salespeople will say something like, "This set was originally priced at $12,000, but now, at 50% off, you only have to pay $6,000. And then there's the add-ons. There's a difference between us and them. At Verlo, you're not met at the door by a high-pressured salesperson. You actually speak with the ones that build your mattress. We understand buying a new mattress can be confusing. Our knowledgeable comfort coaches will work with you to help you make an informed decision, whether or not you buy from us. That's the difference between us and them. Make sure you stop in this month at your local Verlo mattress and save money, so you can put it under your mattress, not in it. Verlo Mattress. We're not just building a better mattress, we're building a better night's sleep for less.
Less frustration, more vacation. Book a nonstop flight from Springfield's Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport, SPI to Fort Myers, Punta Gorda at Allegiant.com and experience the sun, fun, and relaxation of Southwest Florida. Find low fares and save big by bundling at Allegiant.com. Fly from SPI and spend more time enjoying vacation. Book your flight from SPI at Allegiant.com. Fly local. Fly SPI. Take the easy way out.
Take the easy way out.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with things I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Appliance, I've learned there's an advanced form of the disease called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, straight lines seem wavy, like when looking at a door frame. For others, blurry or missing spots can make it hard to read or see loved ones' faces. Many have trouble seeing in low light, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you've been diagnosed with AMD and notice vision changes, don't wait. Talk to your eye doctor about GA today. Learn more at GAWon'tWait.com. That's GAWon'tWait.com.
Can't clean up those grocery prices. But we can clean your office, your school, your clinic, or other amazing workplace. Learn more at cleanimpactllc.com. I can see from over here that you had a salad for lunch. We can't clean that funk out of your teeth. But we can clean your office, your school, your clinic, or other amazing workplace. Learn more at cleanimpactllc.com.
Celebrity birthdays today include Fantasia Barrino, Lizzie Kaplan, David Alan Grier, Monica Potter, and Iron Mike Tyson, who turns 57 today.
Wow.
Yeah. I bet he could blow out his birthday cake pretty easy. Here at Green Toyota, Volkswagen, Audi, we got all kinds of stuff going on. Here to blow you away is Casey Lane.
We have got lots of choices if you're looking for something under $20,000. 2017 Ford Explorer Limited. We've got a 2019 Kia Forte S. It only has 43,000 miles on it. And I talked about this one yesterday. It's under $20,000. It's a 2017 Nissan Frontier SV.
So many great deals this time of year. And again, we got a little time off as we approach this July 4th holiday. So take advantage of that. Come see us and get the deal you've always wanted right here on West Wabash, because we've got them to move right now. Remember, at Green Toyota, Volkswagen, Audi.
We're all in this together.
At SimpliSafe, we know during a break-in, every second counts. So our home security system is powered by 24/7 professional monitoring agents who use Fast Protect technology, only from SimpliSafe, to capture video evidence and verify a threat for fast police response. Now, install SimpliSafe your way. Do it yourself or have an expert set it up for you with new Pro Install. Get 20% off any new system with interactive monitoring at simplisafe.com/radio. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
At Midwest Family, we're looking for talented and dynamic account executives who thrive in a fast-paced working environment. Those who are passionate, self-motivated, goal-oriented, and highly competitive. Are you a problem solver with great communication skills? Do you have a grasp on today's digital media? And do you have the ability to cultivate lasting relationships and partnerships? If this sounds like this is for you, apply online today at MidwestFamilySPI.com and click on our careers tab. Midwest Family is an equal opportunity employer.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY.
Well, the Independence Day holiday is upon us. It's Tuesday, and you got people going across state lines to get fireworks. And it seems like, a perennial story, because it is. Illinoisans crossing over to Indiana, Missouri, Kentucky, Wisconsin, and they're buying gobs and gobs of fireworks. But why don't we have fireworks legalized in the state of Illinois? I think it's a question a lot of people are interested in. But Illinois is one of 3 states that does not allow for the sale of what you would think of fireworks. I mean, listen, you can go and get the snakes, you can go and get the sparklers, you can go and get, I think you can get those little tanks that spew out just a little. But other than that, I mean, smoke bombs, okay. Well, you can't buy big stuff that goes boom. And it's because of, for 80 years now, Illinois' Pyrotechnic Act, if I can say that this morning, it prohibits residents from buying and using fireworks unless they're novelty fireworks like smoke bombs or sparklers. Now, we don't allow it in the state of Illinois. There's 2 other states that don't allow it, including you've got, let's see here, Massachusetts and Vermont. They also don't allow for fireworks other than novelty fireworks, or they possibly don't even allow those. But Illinois, we do allow novelty fireworks. We don't allow the big stuff that goes bang. Now, what that means is you've got people who cross the state line to go and buy fireworks, and that happens every year. And one thing that my team and I with the Center Square we like to do is we call into other states and hear from fireworks operators who are seeing people come from other states to buy fireworks. And that is definitely the story with Mark's Fireworks factory outlet in Indiana, where they talked to my reporter Kevin Bessler and Chris Brunson. He says that indeed they see a steady stream of Illinois license plates in the parking lots of Mark's Fireworks in Indiana.
We do. We got a location Vincennes that gets tons of Illinois business. Our store on the west side as well. So yes, we do. But we get plenty of locations in Indiana that gets traffic from the closest parts of Illinois. Absolutely.
He also talks about, a good part is it's a good part of their business. Illinoisans seeking to get those fireworks for their displays.
Still early. I mean, most of your business is towards the end, but so far so good. But overall, we're, as any business, you could always be busier, but overall we're happy.
Now, it's not just one fireworks stand. There are multiple, including Sherry's Fireworks in Indiana, where the owner there, Sherry Cheesewright, she says that her Clinton, Indiana store gets Illinois residents coming by and saying hello and buying up all kinds of fireworks, and they come back for more.
I bring them in from, my gosh, Charleston, Decatur, Champaign. Last night, guys drove an hour and a half, a town I hadn't even heard of. So once they find me, they tend to come back here.
So obviously, fireworks still very much in the hands of Illinoisans who are crossing over state lines to pick up those fireworks. And listen, I mean, there's a penalty here, right? You can get fined with $2,500 fine if you are found in violation of this. But there's critics who say, fireworks should be legal in Illinois because what's happening is people are crossing state lines to give their tax dollars to Indiana and to other states. But safety is obviously something that's driving Illinois' Pyrotechnic Use Act, and people don't want people to be blowing their arms off. But analysis from the Illinois Policy Institute shows that injuries have actually decreased about a third just last year compared to 2020, despite a massive increase in fireworks sales. So 1 in 3 states banning the use of fireworks. But when you look at the overall costs of injuries and whatnot, it doesn't necessarily correlate to the increased purchasing of fireworks. I shared with you yesterday that I grew up in the suburbs of St. Louis in Missouri, and we had regular fireworks displays that we did at home. And we'd go out and buy an assortment of things from Roman candles to bottle rockets to, the ground sparklers, and had a good time. Maybe somebody got burnt here and there, but thankfully we didn't blow off any appendages. I don't think we ever got too crazy with like the M80s or anything like that, but I know out in the country, some of you guys out there like the quarter sticks of dynamite just because of the big boom. But obviously, you could run afoul with the law if you don't have the proper permits for those types of devices, I guess you could call them. So what we're looking at here is, there was an effort in the Illinois State House that would have allowed for ground sparklers for people 18 and older to purchase. So, these are the cones that you set down, you light, you walk away, and it just spews up sparklers. A good, could be 10 feet in the air, and just spews that out. So it's a display that's somewhat manageable, but even after pushback at the State House and during spring session, testimony focused on the danger of the items, and then the measure ultimately did not advance. So will we see an effort in the future to bring back the idea of legalizing fireworks in the state of Illinois? And how much tax resources could that generate? Are we talking millions? Are we talking tens of millions? And how would you ease the concerns of those who say that these things are dangerous and should not be legalized, except for those who get official permits like municipalities and whatnot? But a lot of fireworks displays going on all around the area. Surely you are connected with your municipality and whether or not they've got a fireworks display. And you got all of this celebrating Independence Day. which is so important because, of course, the Independence Day holiday, July 4th, marking when the founding fathers of this country declared independence from King George and said we no longer want to be serfs. We want to be able to have self-determination within our own government. And then they had a Revolutionary War where they were fighting against forces from King George and others. And the founding fathers prevailed in that and then brought about a constitutional republic. And I think that's important for people to understand. We have a constitutional republic. We don't have a democracy. While states may be democracies where whoever gets the most votes wins, the country is a constitutional republic where you have, the U.S. House. It does its thing where democracy is in action, but the Senate is a way to regulate that even further, making it a constitutional republic. And it's not popular vote that wins a presidency. It's the Electoral College that wins the presidency. And all of that is in a brilliant design meant to ensure that minority voices aren't run over by mob rule. And that's why it's important to reflect on us being a constitutional republic, not a democracy. So that's really the real reason for Independence Day. Fireworks are just a caveat.
From the Fly SPI studios, take the easy way out. WMAY FM, Taylorville, Springfield's News and Talk is 92.7 WMAY.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Justin Finch. Air quality index levels elevated in 23 states thanks to drifting Canadian wildfire smoke. In some cities, it's downright dangerous.
Columbus, Ohio in the red at 244, the worst ever there. The index reaching 230 in Indianapolis. And in Pittsburgh, where the index reached a very unhealthy 231 Thursday, Major League Baseball delaying but ultimately allowing the game between the Padres and the Pirates to be played. Lights turned on for the afternoon game in a hazy PNC Bank Park, players donning face masks as they ran the bases. Dave Packer, ABC News.
Today expected to be one of the busiest travel days of the year ahead of the 4th of July holiday, but more cancellations and delays are expected after a ripple effect of flight issues this week.
The TSA expecting to screen 17.7 million people over the holiday weekend, but the biggest number of travelers expected today. The TSA telling GMA they are ready, but it comes as no surprise that travelers are on edge after a brutal week of flying. More than 7,000 flights canceled since Saturday, some people stranded for days.
ABC's Gio Benitez. The Supreme Court set to release opinions on President Biden's student loan forgiveness plan and LGBTQ rights after his bombshell decision yesterday striking down affirmative action in college admissions, forcing schools to change the way they consider student applicants.
These big, large resource schools will find a way. They have their entire legal teams scrambling right now to figure out what the directive is.
Harvard professor Leah Wright-Rigueur. The first students who will be affected, rising seniors heading to college in 2024. Another court in New York's Long Island will see an appearance from embattled Congressman George Santos today, indicted on 13 counts of fraud, money laundering, and theft of public funds. This is ABC News.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
A new show of force.
All right, coming up, we've got more about the Memorial Health Championship presented by LRS and it's Friday, so it's going to be kind of hodgepodge here. So stay tuned. Plenty more to get to on this hour left of Springfield's morning news. We've got still tens of thousands of people without power. CWLP reporting that indeed 25,877 customers are affected. And for Ameren, you've got even more across the states that are impacted by power outages. They've got over 106,000 people across Illinois without power, including in and around the Springfield area and Decatur and Arthur, Jacksonville, Mount Sterling, even down as far south as it looks like Gillespie has some outages. So, yeah, a lot to keep up to date with here. So stay tuned. We got plenty more on Springfield's Morning News, 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. Stay tuned. It's 8:04.
News.
Weather.
92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story, Governor J.B. Pritzker has signed a new law that requires insurance companies to provide specific information concerning how they set their rates to the Illinois Department of Insurance. The department will then have the authority to approve, modify, or disapprove rates that it determines to be unreasonable. The governor and House Democratic leadership noted that the legislation would work to protect the health of Illinoisans into the future. The Central Illinois Food Bank would like everyone across the community to consider rounding up their purchase next time they buy groceries at Hy-Vee. The two organizations are teaming up as part of the Hy-Vee 100 Million Meal Challenge to get meals to individuals and families who are food insecure, which, according to the Central Illinois Food Bank, is approximately 1 out of every 9 people across Central Illinois. Find out more at Hy-Vee.com. Poor air quality, like we experienced earlier this week, can cause health problems for vulnerable populations. Dr. Brian Reichart of HSHS Medical Group noted during a press conference on Wednesday afternoon that the number of particles per cubic meter in the air was about 7 times what experts say is healthy, and that work and other activities should be rescheduled or done with mask protection where and when possible. Springfield Fire Department Chief Ed Canny and Hazardous Material Response Team Leader Bryce McCormick and former Fire Marshal Chris Richmond moderated a discussion at the Citizens Club of Springfield, where they explained strategies used to respond to hazardous spills. They described a hypothetical scenario involving a tanker truck and several other vehicles at the I-55 Stevenson interchange. Fire Chief Canny and Fire Captain McCormick noted that such hypotheticals are a common tool used in emergency response preparedness. Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
Here's one thing that psychologists and therapists believe to be a key step to achieving better mental health, and it doesn't cost a thing. Spending time outside. That's right, the natural light, the wind against your skin, the sounds and fragrances of the season all work in concert to help you feel better. Now, you can't treat clinical depression and addiction with just one step. Those are more serious problems, especially with drugs and alcohol. The team of nurses, counselors, physicians, and psychologists at Gateway Foundation understand that. They know what you're going through, and they can show you the way out. Your insurance covers treatment, and the Family Medical Leave protects your job. If your situation appears hopeless, make the confidential call to Gateway at 877-505-HOPE, 877-505-HOPE, and start feeling better today. Gateway Foundation. Addiction medicine. Saving lives.
As you know, we mention historical events all the time here, right? Mm-hmm. This might be the most incredible we mention all year. It's the anniversary of Charles Blundene's conquest of Niagara Falls. Now, this is a guy who went across Niagara Falls on a tightrope, okay? Mm-hmm. And then, after that, he crossed blindfolded, pushing a wheelbarrow, carrying a man on his back and then on stilts.
Who's the guy that's going to go on his back? I mean...
That's braver than he is.
Yes.
Here's Green Toyota's own Casey Lane.
Gosh. Our inventory is back. We've got lots of new vehicles like this 2023 Toyota RAV4 LE. It's all-wheel drive, and of course, it's always great to have all-wheel drive when we've got all sorts of weather around here. So come on down. You can take a test drive today. It's in stock and available.
You know, if I was going to cross with a guy on my back on a tightrope or across Niagara Falls, it would be the lightest guy I knew. We're on West Wabash. Remember, at Green Toyota, Volkswagen, Audi.
We're all in this together.
Get today's headlines delivered to your inbox every morning. Subscribe now at WMAY.com. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.
Chance of afternoon showers and thunderstorms today with a high near 89. Storms continue into tonight with a low of 69. Saturday, afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms likely with a high near 87, low around 67. Sunday, showers likely and possibly a thunderstorm with a high near 81. And Monday, sunny with a high near 87 degrees. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Less hassle, more travel. We've got connections to anywhere. The Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport remains open for you. Your hometown airport is committed to providing a safe, clean, and healthy travel experience. Security lines are short, parking is always free, and customer service is a top priority. Book your next American Airlines flight from SPI at aa.com. Fly local, fly SPI.
Take the easy way out.
At BOS, we know sometimes you don't want to talk to us, which is fine. Really, it's fine. So we've added things like mobile check deposit to our smartphone app, as well as the ability to deactivate your debit card if it gets lost or stolen, and even send money to your friends and family instantly, all without talking to a soul. Okay, it's too quiet now. Please come back and talk to us. Our app doesn't have free lollipops. Make the bold move and switch to BOS today. Visit bankwithbos.com. Member FDIC.
Not your basic grand opening. Think of it as a grand reopening of the previous grand reopening. Well, it's a long story. But the remodeling project at Hendrick's Home Furnishings is finished. And inside that newly remodeled area, Sunset West Outdoor Furniture. I know, Sunset West Outdoor Furniture inside the store. Yeah, it's another long story. Stop by for details and visit for the celebration from July 1st through the 15th at the place where you can always talk to the owner. Hendrick's on Route 4 in Verdon and online at hendricks.tv.
Get ready to rock as Broadway Under the Stars continues at the Muni, now playing Rock of Ages. This jukebox musical takes you back to the big bad 1980s, featuring big bands with big egos playing big guitar solos and sporting even bigger hair. Featuring hits from bands like Styx, Journey, REO Speedwagon, Twisted Sister, Pat Benatar, and more. Rock of Ages tells the story of a city boy and a small-town girl and how their band of friends saved the day and the music. UCB presents Rock of Ages, now playing through July 1st. Get tickets at the box office or themuni.org.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI Studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.
Well, still tens of thousands of people without power after severe weather yesterday. Possibility of more thunderstorms today, but that's not slowing things down at the Memorial Health Championship presented by LRS. And joining us to talk about more of what the Memorial Health system is doing in the community leading up to the tournament, we're now talking with Jay Bullinger. He is with Springfield Memorial Health. And Jay, thanks for taking time. Good to talk with you again. And let's get right on into it. A lot of things leading up to the big tournaments that kicked off yesterday, postponed a little bit because of the weather, but they're back at it today, teeing up, continuing on with round one. But you guys were busy in the lead up to it. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, we were. What an exciting time in the community. You know, Springfield Memorial Hospital and Memorial Health are excited to be able to be the presenting or the sponsor of this tournament along with LRS. And my kind of involvement in the tournament is bringing together all of the community events that go on leading up to the tournament. And we've had some exciting events going on. On Tuesday, we kicked off the brand new opening of our brand new child care facility here on the campus of Memorial Health. And we had invited players to come and play golf with putt-putt golf with some of the kids at our child care facility. And Greg, you know, it's been great to see just the reaction from the community and even the players. I think whenever they showed up to our child care facility to meet the kids, they had just as much fun as the kids did. You know, and just to be able to see the reaction on the kids' faces, you know, these guys that are coming through this tour are going to be the next superstars of golf. And so, you know, the kids at the daycare were almost starstruck just to be able to meet and interact with those players. And then following that, we had some great visits here on the campus of Springfield Memorial Hospital. We invited the players to come in and visit with some of our patients here in the hospital, and just to be able to shed some hope and light on, to those patients that are here receiving care. And, for them to be able to come in and just provide that comforting voice and conversation, in a time of need is so crucial. So, and then on Tuesday night, we had a phenomenal event out at Lincoln Greens Golf Course with the Springfield Golf Club, and Gail Simpson and her group of mentors provide an excellent mentorship program for underserved youth in the community. And we had the privilege to partner up with them and provide each kid with a Memorial Health Championship polo and just some other goodie bag items, and also invited some professional golfers out to attend that event as well, and put on a little mini golf clinic. And then we provided all of the kids with free Kona ice after that. So just a lot of really great community events leading up to yesterday's tee-off.
And the Memorial Health Championship presented by LRS going on now, and you've also got other sponsors, including Visit Springfield, essentially allowing for anybody and everybody who wants to go. There's no admission. So they've got the shuttles going back and forth from the Landmark Ford parking lot to Panther Creek for the Memorial Health Championship presented by LRS. We're talking now with Jay Bullinger. He is with Springfield Memorial Health and Springfield Memorial Hospital, and talking about all the things that they do in the community, even leading up to this weekend's Memorial Health Championship tournament. And Jay, outside of the tournament, you've got a lot of things going on. A lot of volunteers helping out all over the place. So talks a bit more about the different types of things you do all throughout the year to stay connected to the community.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. This tournament takes about 400 volunteers to put on, and Kate Peters and her team with Inventive Sports really do a great job of being able to go out and market and get those crucial volunteers to be able to put on this tournament. I mean, you don't realize that there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that the general public, doesn't see. And to be able to have the community support this event and bring in those much needed volunteers is so important. And then obviously my role here at Springfield Memorial Hospital, I'm one of the volunteer services coordinators here at the hospital, and my job is to kind of do all of the recruitment and onboarding for our volunteers. And shameless plug, but we're always looking for new bright shining faces to join our volunteer staff here at the hospital. We currently have about 180 active volunteers, but again, we could always use more. I think the pandemic taught us a lot, and we actually have created some new exciting positions coming out of the pandemic. I would encourage any newly retired individual that's looking to be able to just stay connected to the community and be able to give back to people in times of need. Springfield Memorial Hospital and all 5 of our hospitals across our health system all have fantastic volunteer programs to be able to get involved in if you're wanting to try to stay connected in your community.
Jay, if people want to volunteer for Springfield Memorial Hospital, how can they do that?
Yeah, you can go to memorial.health/volunteer, and then we will have a list of all 5 of our hospitals there, and then you can just select, the hospital in your area. So Springfield Memorial Hospital, you would click on that link, and then it would take you to the application, and you fill out that application, and then we'll be in contact.
Sounds like a plan. Jay Bullinger with Springfield Memorial Health. Greatly appreciate you taking the time. And do you yourself golf?
I would say I try. I try.
I think that's where I'm at. I work way too much to get out on the links, but when I am there, at least I'll try.
Yeah, it's a love-hate relationship, and I think a lot of people can agree with that, it's what keeps us coming back.
There you go. Absolutely. Hey, I appreciate the time. We'll definitely talk again soon. All right, Jay?
Yeah. I hope you and your family are doing well after the storms. I know everybody here in Springfield, just hearing everybody's devastation on the radio this morning is pretty sad. So I just hope everybody's doing all right out there and just giving some hope to everybody.
Absolutely. Appreciate that. Jay Boulanger with Springfield Memorial Health talking about the Memorial Health Championship presented by LRS going on right now at Panther Creek Country Club. Greatly appreciate your time. Be safe.
Yep, you too.
It is Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. And coming back, I want to hear from you about the damage you're seeing. All right, 217-629-7970, 217-629-7970. Your call's next, now at 8:18 from Culver's West on Wabash.
Work with a team that cares about being the best part of the customer's day. Apply today at Culver's West on Wabash.
There are 3 words I always hear when someone from our staff is on the phone. We got it. Hi, it's Laurie from Rex Battery, and whenever somebody calls us and asks if we have a certain type of battery, the answer is always, we got it. Even in those very rare instances we don't, we know how to get it. And if we don't know how to get it, we'll build it. That's how committed we are to making sure you have the power you need. From model cars to real cars, from toys to tractors, dog collars to doorbells, riding mowers to remote keys. If it takes a battery, we have it at Rex Battery. Over 75,000 batteries in stock right now. So if you're wondering if we've got a battery, yep, we've got it. They're fresh, fully charged, and ready to go. Keeping Central Illinois fully powered for over 60 years. Rex Battery, Clear Lake, west of Dirksen.
X with a double X battery. Generations of power.
Buying a new mattress shouldn't be like buying a new car. Mattress retailers reel you in with a low price, and their salespeople try to sell you something at a high price. Or they'll use huge price reductions, and their salespeople will say something like, "This set was originally priced at $12,000, but now, at 50% off, you only have to pay $6,000. And then there's the add-ons. There's a difference between us and them. At Verlo, you're not met at the door by a high-pressured salesperson. You actually speak with the ones that build your mattress. We understand buying a new mattress can be confusing. Our knowledgeable comfort coaches will work with you to help you make an informed decision, whether or not you buy from us. That's the difference between us and them. Make sure you stop in this month at your local Verlo mattress and save money, so you can put it under your mattress, not in it. Verlo Mattress. We're not just building a better mattress, we're building a better night's sleep for less.
The Cardinals celebrate the newest pro sports team in town, St. Louis City SC. On Friday, July 14th, the Birds on the Bat host the Washington Nationals, and that night, 25,000 fans 16 and older will take home a Cardinals soccer jersey, presented by Purina. That is Friday, July 14th. The Cardinals, the Nationals, and the soccer jersey giveaway. For tickets or more info, visit cardinals.com/promotions.
This is Brendan Donovan. Summer in St. Louis means baseball.
On Saturday, July 15th, the Cardinals take on the Washington Nationals, and you will not want to miss it. That day, 25,000 fans ages 16 and older will add an Albert Pujols bobblehead to their collection. This exclusive bobble, presented by Coca-Cola and Schnucks, honors and celebrates Pujols' career, highlighted by 703 home runs. Don't miss out. That's Saturday, July 15th. For tickets, visit cardinals.com/promotions.
If you have a security system, give this a try. Call them and see what their response time is. Can you talk to a real live person 24 hours a day, even weekends and holidays? Are they prompt to follow up with your service requests? Varcom Security is winning customers by outstanding performance on all of those fronts. Every second counts. Contact the Springfield office of Varcom Security for a free estimate and have a secure day.
Your home is the place where you know your loved ones are secure. But the things that keep your home protected can't keep Pest at bay. That's where RAID comes in. For 60 years, RAID scientists have worked to protect people around the world. With trusted research, ingredients, testing standards, and product efficacy, RAID seeks to create a better future for all. Especially the ones you love most. Raid. Protection for all.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/FREE. ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone.
Done.
By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop. Weekdays 6 till 9 on 92.7 WMAY.
What kind of damage are you seeing out there? I want to hear from you at 217-629-7970. The sun's been up for a bit now, but obviously a lot of the damage was clear after the storm blew through midday yesterday with in some instances 60, 70 mile an hour winds. So obviously a lot of damage, a lot of power lines down, and some concerns continue about how soon power is going to be turned back on. But I want to hear from you at 217-629-7970. Again, 217-629-7970. That's the phone number. In the Springfield area, you've got the power outages reported by City Water, Light, and Power, showing 24,800 customers still without power all throughout Springfield. And you can follow up with their outage map online at outagemap.cwlp.com. So they're making progress on that. But I did get an update here from an official saying that crews from South Bend, Indiana, and New Jersey are heading to help out in Springfield, and you've even got some line construction crews as well. 18 transmission poles snapped. I'll repeat that. 18 transmission poles snapped in Springfield. This is just for City Water, Light, and Power. I haven't seen yet what Ameren has, because Ameren is also across the state reporting over 100,000 people without power. But in Springfield, for CWLP, the word is 18 transmission poles snapped, many on Dirksen and many other distribution poles, and over 100 power lines are down. So what are you seeing out there? 217-629-7970 is the phone number. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Hey, good morning.
Hey.
East side of Springfield get hit pretty hard.
You're asking me?
Yes.
Well, I mean, Dirksen Parkway, that's the east side of Springfield. You got 100 power lines that are down, 18 transmission poles that are down, mainly on Dirksen Parkway. So, yeah, absolutely.
I'm sorry, I just tuned in. I was just curious. I live out in Chatham. There's a lot of trees down. They do have a lot of the power restored out here now, which is nice. Unfortunately, my house isn't, but so I was just checking to see. I was thinking about doing something tonight on the east side of town, but I just don't know if they're going to be able to get it up and running, which I kind of doubt. But God bless all those guys that did that.
Yeah, and again, CWLP updating us saying that they've got crews from South Bend, Indiana, and New Jersey on the way to help continue with the cleanup efforts here. And we talked with Springfield Mayor Misty Buscher earlier, and reminder that there's a state of emergency in Springfield. The mayor yesterday issued that state of emergency that lasts through the weekend, and overnight there was a curfew, and that curfew was lifted at 5 o'clock this morning. When we talked with Mayor Buscher earlier this morning, she indicated that they'll assess where they're at later on throughout the day to determine whether or not another another curfew needs to be implemented. And that's a way to keep people safe from down power lines and from other debris that may be out there, and to allow for crews to continue working unimpeded. So just keep that in mind. We'll definitely be updating you here on WMAY. 217-629-7970. What kind of damage you seeing? Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Hey.
Isles Park looks like a bomb basically went off about 8 feet above the ground and just took out almost all the trees.
Oh, my gosh. And you're talking about some trees that have been around for generations.
Oh, absolutely. Healthy trees. I'm not talking carpenter ants or termites. These things were the yellow wood all the way through, and they were about 2.5 feet, 3 feet in diameter. So,
I live in South Sangamon County, and it's you got house after house all up and down the street I live on that have roofs that are going to have to be partially replaced, gutters that are smashed, trees that have completely been just turned over. The square in my town, a huge tree smashed into the pavilion they've got in the square. It's a mess. There's no question.
Yeah, it is. My neighbor works for the city, and he said it's the worst storm damage we've had since the 07 tornadoes.
Yeah, it's remarkable.
Yeah, it's really sad. Hey, what you were talking about earlier, as far as us not being a democracy, we are a what?
A constitutional republic.
Constitutional republic, that's correct.
Yeah.
And I would like to see the elections changed so that each county gets 2 votes. And then
that's been postulated, at least in Illinois, right? I mean, because the way the U.S. Senate counteracts the majority rule out of the U.S. House is a state as small as, say Montana has the same number of Senate votes as a state like New York, which really provides a certain level of balance to ensure that the minority doesn't get run over. Can that be implemented in a state like Illinois, where you've got Chicago leading a lot of the policies? If there was some kind of balance in the Illinois Senate to curtail some of that. I don't know if there's an appetite to try to change the state constitution to that effect, but it's a novel idea that's been put out there.
Yep, absolutely. When a candidate only has to win 4 or 5 counties to win a high-level position in the state, that's a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, all right, buddy. I appreciate the call, and be safe out there. It is Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk, and I'd love to hear throughout the program what you're seeing out there on the ground when it comes to damage. But there's some other stuff we got to tackle as well. Some more U.S. Supreme Court rulings coming out. Earlier today, we talked about the hearing in the 7th Circuit Court of Appeals about Illinois' gun and magazine ban. It's going to be months before we see a ruling out of there, and how that goes to the U.S. Supreme Courts. They're going to be an injunction in place before the January 1st deadline, so we may take your calls there. We'll open things up a bit in the next half hour, but don't forget you've also got the Memorial Health Championship presented by LRS going on right now at Panther Creek Country Club. They still have power out there, and they were spared a lot of the damage that you're seeing in other areas throughout the listening audience. So they got that continuing on. But let's go ahead and take a break for some headlines here with Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. It's 8:31.
92.7 WMAY.
Here are the 3 big things you need to know.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story. Power still remains out across much of Springfield and parts of surrounding communities after yesterday's strong winds, lightning, and at least 2 observed tornadoes. CWLP notes as of 5 o'clock this morning that more than a third of its customers are still without power. SMTD service remains suspended. Stay with WMAY for updates. Poor air quality, like we experienced earlier this week, can cause health problems for vulnerable populations. Dr. Brian Reichart of HSHS Medical Group noted during a press conference on Wednesday afternoon that the number of particles per cubic meter in the air was about 7 times what experts say is healthy, and that work and other activities should be rescheduled or done with mask protection where and when possible. Springfield Fire Department Chief Ed Canny and Hazardous Material Response Team Leader Bryce McCormick and former Fire Marshal Chris Richmond moderated a discussion at the Citizens Club of Springfield, where they explained strategies used to respond to hazardous spills. They described a hypothetical scenario involving a tanker truck and several other vehicles at the I-55 Stevenson interchange. Fire Chief Canny and Fire Captain McCormick noted that such hypotheticals are a common tool used in emergency response preparedness. The Central Illinois Food Bank would like everyone across the community to consider rounding up their purchase next time they buy groceries at Hy-Vee. The two organizations are teaming up as part of the Hy-Vee 100 Million Meal Challenge to get meals to individuals and families who are food insecure, which, according to the Central Illinois Food Bank, is approximately 1 out of every 9 people across Central Illinois. Find out more at Hy-Vee.com. Governor J.B. Pritzker has signed a new law that requires insurance companies to provide specific information concerning how they set their rates to the Illinois Department of Insurance. The department will then have the authority to approve, modify, or disapprove rates that it determines to be unreasonable. The governor and House Democratic leadership noted that the legislation would work to protect the health of Illinoisans moving into the future. Illinois State Controller Susana Mendoza announced on Thursday that she's depositing an additional $200 million into the state's rainy day fund. The $200 million transferred to the Rainy Day Fund caps off the nearly $1 billion supplemental appropriation approved by the General Assembly and Governor in January. The cash balance in the state's Rainy Day Fund now sits at nearly $2 billion, up from only several $1,000s dating back to 2018. ShotSpotter will be utilized by the Springfield Police Department for at least 3 more years, and it will cost the city just under $2 million. The Springfield City Council on Tuesday voted to renew the city's subscription to the controversial program. Mayor Misty Buscher supports the program, and the city recently received state funds to help defray its costs. Your dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
Why do residents love Springfield Supportive Living? Just ask Mike.
I am so glad that I came here. I really appreciate that they have Wi-Fi here because I like playing on my tablet and looking up things and playing games, and I'm just happy that they have that.
With an experienced staff every step of the way.
I get along with them really well. They're a lot of fun, and it's just been a really good experience.
SpringfieldSupportiveLiving.com.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
50% off everything is yours for a limited time through July 6th during the Endless Summer event at Banana Republic Factory. Celebrate the season with linen suiting, breezy dresses, timeless neutrals, and more. Only at your nearest Banana Republic Factory store.
This summer, Coors Light wants you to retire, even if it's only temporary. Take a break from your 9 to 5 for 9 holes of golf. Trade those spreadsheets for a bingo card.
B7. Oh, bingo!
Or swap your office chair for a water aerobics floaty.
Cool noodles up, everyone!
This summer, welcome to temporary retirement. Coors Light, made to chill. Copyright 2023 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
What, you are asking yourself, would it be like to work in the shadow of the great Lauterbach man? Well, now is your chance to find out. We are hiring here at Lauterbach Tire, but not just anybody. No, you've got to be good at what you do and experienced at what you do. So if you're a tire and lube technician and you know your stuff, you have experience, you could work here for a great family company. I know what you're asking. Hey, Lauterbach man, what do you have for me? Well, we have opportunities for advancement, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a hearty good morning from me. It's an opening for a full-time tire and lube technician with experience. We can only send the best out to work on the cars in our 7 bays. Interested? Of course you are. Apply in person at Lauterbach Tire on Wabash. It will be a pleasure to work with you. Lauterbach man here. Drive safely now.
Everywhere with the WMAY app. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's news and talk.
Chance of afternoon showers and thunderstorms today with a high near 89. Storms continue into tonight with a low of 69. Saturday, afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms likely with a high near 87, low around 67. Sunday, showers likely and possibly a thunderstorm with a high near 81. And Monday, sunny with a high near 87 degrees. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Save big money at Menards with 11% off everything for a fantastic 4th of July. Patriotic caps and t-shirts are on sale for just $3.99 each after rebate. Patriotic quad chairs with carrying bag, only $12.99 after rebate. Keep bugs away with big savings on insect repellents. An LED bug zapper bulb is just $2.97 after rebate. Good through July 4th. Savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Get ready to rock as Broadway Under the Stars continues at the Muni, now playing Rock of Ages. This jukebox musical takes you back to the big bad 1980s, featuring big bands with big egos playing big guitar solos and sporting even bigger hair. Featuring hits from bands like Styx, Journey, REO Speedwagon, Twisted Sister, Pat Benatar, and more. Rock of Ages tells the story of a city boy and a small town girl and how their band of friends saved the day and the music. UCB presents Rock of Ages, now playing through July 1st. Get tickets at the box office or themuni.org.
All time we have comes from an atomic clock.
Okay.
Okay, that is accurate to the millisecond, okay? This is leap second adjustment time today.
Okay.
Where, depending on how the Earth's rotating, you go back a second or forward a second,
Okay.
What are you going to do with all that extra time?
I know.
Hopefully see us here at Green Toyota Volkswagen Audi. Here to tell you more is Casey Lane.
We still have our 2013 Toyota FJ Cruiser. I am actually shocked it's still here because they are hard to find. It's four-wheel drive. It only has 62,559 miles on it. It's a 2013.
Wow.
So if you've been looking for an FJ, come on down, check it out, take a test drive today.
That's right. Yeah. Again, you can leap into it here on leap second adjustment time.
That's right.
And you might just have a second to get it because, again, this is a very sought-after vehicle, especially on the pre-owned side, because they're not making them anymore. We're on West Wabash. See us as soon as you can. Remember, at Green Toyota Volkswagen Audi.
We're all in this together.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone.
Done.
By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
The Memorial Health Championship presented by LRS ongoing as the teams are there on the grounds with the volunteers and the caddies and the players teeing off, continuing round one. After severe weather yesterday, a lot of people still out of power, but that's not stopping things from moving forward with the Memorial Health Championship presented by LRS out at Panther Creek. And joining us right now is Ed Curtis. He is Memorial Health President, to talk a bit about the partnership they have with this championship and LRS. Ed, thanks for taking time with us this morning, and let's talk about the mission of Memorial Health. Good morning.
Good morning, Greg. Thanks for having me. Our mission is to improve lives and build stronger communities through better health, and I think this is a great example of how we're building stronger communities by investing in our economy.
And the economic impact of this, touch on that, because you've got these teams that have been here for, I don't even know how long, definitely a week ahead of time with all of the different types of events you had going on for the community with Memorial Health and these players. But talk about the economic impact of an event like the Memorial Health Championship.
Yeah, thanks for asking. 6-day event. I mean, they're in here first thing Monday morning. We had our big partner social Monday evening at Motorheads. So it's a week-long activity. So this is hotels, restaurants, has a $6 million impact on our greater Central Illinois economy, and it's awesome.
$6 million impact. That is huge.
Coming off a pandemic, it is huge, and it's really good for our community.
Fantastic. And of course, Memorial Health, not just focused on health of the community, you're also focused on getting out into the community and providing assistance where needed. Talk about some of the things you guys do in your charitable giving side.
Yeah, thanks for asking that. Healthcare is coming out of a pandemic, has had some major labor shortages, so we've invested through our 5 foundations in Springfield, Jacksonville, Decatur, Lincoln, and Taylorville, almost $30 million in 6 college and junior colleges to expand the nursing programs by 400 students. That's one thing our foundations are doing.
It's incredible, and it just shows some of the things that Memorial Health does day in, day out, not just ensuring that people get the highest quality health care here in Central Illinois, but also to ensure that you've got funds and resources going to help those in most need. And an event like the Memorial Health Championship bringing in $6 million of economic impact, that as well is helping above and beyond the stuff you guys do day in, day out. Ed Curtis, Memorial Health President, any tips for those people looking to get better at golf?
Well, we just asked them to come out and watch these amazing pros today, tomorrow, and Sunday. Admission is free thanks to Visit Springfield and our city of Springfield, and we're expecting to have, huge crowds out here today, tomorrow, and Sunday, and the weather this morning looks spectacular.
Yeah, absolutely. And, the sponsorship from LRS and Visit Springfield and Memorial all together combining to make a dynamic event that's going on right now at Panther Creek. Ed Curtis, president of Memorial Health, greatly appreciate you taking the time with us today.
Thank you, Greg. Have a great day.
You too. It is Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. And I'm Greg Bishop. Thanks for hanging out. All right, stay tuned. We are going to open it up for your calls next on everything from what you're seeing on the ground with damage assessment to even your reaction of the U.S. 7th Circuit Court of Appeals hearing the gun and magazine litigation. We can even get your reaction to the affirmative action case that was announced yesterday by the U.S. Supreme Court. And we haven't talked about another case either, which was the case about postal workers who are of a certain religious preference and whether or not they should be forced to work on Sundays. Spoiler alert, the court said, no, you can't force them to work on Sundays. So we'll talk about all of that and get your phone calls at 217-629-7970. That's next. Now, 844 from Culver's west on Wabash. Let's take a look at Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast, where today you've got a high of 91 with the possibility of some showers and storms likely tonight, the low of 71. Saturday, thunderstorms likely with a high of 89. And then Sunday, showers with a high of only 82. 87 the high Monday with sunshine. And for Independence Day Tuesday, 91 the high with sunny skies. Right now, sun's out, 72 degrees at 8:45 from Culver's west on Wabash.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
Marilyn Nash. I like all the people here. They all treat me nice. Like since my sister moved here, it's been better because if I want to go upstairs or if I want to argue with her, I can. I mean, we're sisters, right? But yeah, I like just about everything here.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
It's time to apply at Culver's West on Wabash. We're hiring all positions, and did we mention free food? Only at Culver's West on Wabash.
Landmark Chrysler Jeep has sizzling summer deals you don't want to miss. Drop the top on a 2023 Jeep Wrangler 4xe Sahara with an MSRP of $64,580. Lease for only $59,995 after Landmark discounts, rebates, and tax credits, saving you over $13,000. Did you know that when you lease a vehicle from Landmark, GAP is included for no charge and you get the full tax credit? Get these deals and more today at Landmark Chrysler Jeep in Springfield.
You always do better at Landmark.
Landmark Chrysler Jeep has sizzling summer deals you don't want to miss. Drop the top on a 2023 Jeep Wrangler 4xe Sahara with an MSRP of $64,580. Lease for only $548 a month with no money down, excluding fees and taxes. Did you know when you lease a vehicle from Landmark, your car is under warranty the whole time and you pay half the interest rate of a standard purchase? Find out more at Landmark Chrysler Jeep in Springfield.
You always do better at Landmark.
Buying a new mattress shouldn't be like buying a new car. Mattress retailers reel you in with a low price, and their salespeople try to sell you something at a high price. Or they'll use huge price reductions, and their salespeople will say something like, "This set was originally priced at $12,000, but now, at 50% off, you only have to pay $6,000. And then there's the add-ons. There's a difference between us and them. At Verlo, you're not met at the door by a high-pressured salesperson. You actually speak with the ones that build your mattress. We understand buying a new mattress can be confusing. Our knowledgeable comfort coaches will work with you to help you make an informed decision whether or not you buy from us. That's the difference between us and them. Make sure you stop in this month at your local Verlo mattress and save money so you can put it under your mattress, not in it. Verlo Mattress. We're not just building a better mattress, we're building a better night's sleep for less.
50% off everything is yours for a limited time through July 6th during the Endless Summer event at Banana Republic Factory. Celebrate the season with linen suiting, breezy dresses, timeless neutrals, and more. Only at your nearest Banana Republic Factory store.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. And in the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. Timeshare is the only thing that you can buy that you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. The crazy thing is, this never ends. Even when you die, your family's now going to be stuck with this burden. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. 800-990-3434. 800-990-3434. 800-990-3434.
This is Rob Zavitka, Director of Sales and Business Development Manager for Midwest Family Springfield. Are you the one person I'm looking for to help further build our media sales team at Midwest Family Springfield? We are the premier multimedia marketing company that no other company compares to in the Springfield area. It's really simple. I need one sales leader, a brand ambassador whose talent and team focus will thrive working with Midwest Family. Are you passionate, self-motivated, goal-oriented, and highly competitive? Are you an overachiever, a problem solver with great communication skills? Do you have the skill set for today's digital marketing? And do you believe in growing lasting partnerships? If so, apply online today at MidwestFamilySPI.com and click on the Careers tab. At Midwest Family Springfield, you'll be challenged, you'll be trained, and you'll have access to world-class tools like HubSpot CRM. Are you the one I'm looking for? If so, apply online today at MidwestFamilySPI.com and click on the Careers tab. Midwest Family is an equal opportunity employer.
Listen and watch the interviews with today's newsmakers on Facebook and YouTube. Like and subscribe now. Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY.
All right, what are you seeing out there? You got some damage in your neck of the woods. A lot of trees down all over the place. CWLP saying that they've got crews from as far as New Jersey and South Bend, Indiana, heading over to help out with the cleanup. 100 poles snapped, mostly on Dirksen, even a bunch of transmission lines down. It's a mess, and a lot of people still without power. What are you seeing out there? 217-629-7970. You can also sound off on really anything in the final 9 minutes we've got together on this Friday. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Yes, have you heard about the Lake Springfield fireworks show at the marina? Is it still on, or is it canceled for this evening?
That's a great question. I have not seen any indication of that. I know that some events likely can't go on. So, be tuned in. We'll keep you posted on the latest of what we know when we know it. Good morning. You're on WMAY. What's up?
Hey, Greg. How you doing?
Good.
Just
yourself?
Calling in to bring up what a little observation that I had yesterday during the case hearings.
Sure.
I felt like the state really did a pretty abysmal job at their arguments, and I felt that the judges were pretty frustrated at that fact that they weren't really giving them too much to work with. But aside from that case, I mean, I don't think we can really forget about the injunction week buyers. I mean, to have this predicament out there where you have a whole bunch of law-abiding citizens that were made into felons overnight in some type of loophole situation with the law. I think hopefully this gets figured out before the registration period, because this is unacceptable.
I think that's really a major concern for a lot of people out there. They do not want to register their firearms, but they also don't want to turn into felons overnight if January 1st comes around and this law is upheld and there's no injunction. So what happens here is the Seventh Circuit Court of Appeals gonna essentially just be sluggish in getting out a ruling so that it can be immediately appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court for any kind of fall conference they may have? So that's a big question. But something else too that could lead to an injunction even from a lower court is if there's a challenge, and I know Thomas Maggs, one of those attorneys who spoke yesterday during the hearing for the plaintiffs, he's the guy who's like, listen, this is not about grenade launchers or Stinger missiles. This is about rifles, semi-automatic rifles that are commonly held. He has still a challenge against the law based on Fifth Amendment principles. And that's the amendment that keeps you safe from having to incriminate yourself, which a lot of people see that registration being just that, a violation of the Fifth Amendment. So maybe that's another avenue that there could be to get an injunction even in a lower court while this thing plays out. But yeah, the question still remains as to are we going to be forced to register our firearms with Illinois State Police come January 1st if this thing doesn't get into the U.S. Supreme Court quick enough?
Well, currently it feels like it's entrapment, really. I mean, I don't see how it can't be. Also, I know that Senator Plummer was coming up with something, too, on his end, but I haven't really heard too much of that lately. So,
well, we talked with him a couple of weeks ago about that, and he said that the next time they could probably do something with the proposal he has to keep those harmless who bought firearms during the injunction week. They didn't advance it in spring session. He hopes they can bring it up during fall session, but, listen, that's a Republican initiative in a Democrat-controlled legislature. Who knows if anything like that moves forward and whether or not the governor would sign such a measure anyways.
This is a tough time, but hopefully it all works out. Hopefully it all gets ironed out. We'll see.
Appreciate the call. Yep, 217-629-7970. Things open for you to sound off on anything. Of course, the severe weather from yesterday, a lot of cleanup. Going up and down the street of my neighborhood, it's remarkable. And chainsaws were going off all over the place yesterday afternoon, cleaning things up. You've got large branches that fell on top of roofs, smashing gutters, businesses that are hit with all of this, private residents that are hit with all of this. The town square where I live, a large tree completely blown over. I gotta say, I feel blessed because, number one, I had power all day yesterday. Even when the winds were going 70 plus miles an hour or however fast they were, I still had power, thank God. And also, knock on wood, we didn't have any damage to our house, but literally across the street, there was a major tree that was severely impacted. Down the streets, all kinds of roofs all jacked up. But again, here in Springfield, you've got tens of thousands of people still without power. All throughout the region, Ameren, Illinois shows in Illinois in general 100,000+ people without power. You've got utility crews on the go from all across the region helping to clean things up. And even CWLP saying they've got utility crews coming from as far as South Bend, Indiana, and New Jersey to help with the continued cleanup. So even though, not necessarily tornadoes doing the damage, straight line winds can do just as much. And we saw that yesterday. So a lot of cleanup still on the way. What are you seeing out there or anything else on your mind? Wrap up this Friday before Independence Day, a crucial holiday for the United States to remember what we came from. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Yes, I'd like to sound off this morning about a wall that's out at Lake Springfield at Spalding Dam. It's on the north side of the dam, and they've taken it down to do some construction work, and it is much more scenic with the wall down than it is with the wall up. I don't know if you're familiar with this area or not.
No. I'm sure I probably am if I was on a boat somewhere, but it doesn't ring a bell immediately. But you're saying they took it down to do some work, and you want to see it's kept down.
Yes, I'd like to see it stay down, and you don't have to be on a boat. If you drive across the dam on the road heading on East Lake Drive, it's very obvious on the north side of the road.
Right on. All right, I'll see if I can see that sometime here soon, or I guess see the lack of it, right? Because you said they took it down. So while some people say build a wall, you're saying no, you don't want that wall.
Yes, that's correct. And now would be an ideal time to go across because it's half up and half down. You can get a good comparison on both
right on
viewpoints.
Okay, very good. Well, how did you do with the storm yesterday? How's the damage assessment in your neck of the woods?
Mine is very, very minimal. Just a few very, very small branches in my yard.
And that was kind of my yard as well. But the moment I stepped outside my backyard, you could see the damage all across the place. I mean, it's been pretty wild. So be safe out there. I appreciate the call.
All right, thank you.
It is Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. We still got a couple of more minutes here if you want to chime in on anything that's happened. You can also talk about the gun ban litigation heard in the appeals court yesterday. You could talk about the affirmative action case that was decided by the U.S. Supreme Court, essentially saying you can't use race as a basis for admissions into universities or colleges. And you can even chime in on what's happening with the various forms of branches and tree limbs and power lines down and power outages. Again, we've got the latest from CWLP that they've got crews coming from some as far away as South Bend, Indiana, and even New Jersey as they continue to work through all of the power outages there are. And you look at the power outage map from CWLP, and where are they at? They're at 25,881 customers still without power. And we're on a generator here at the radio station, by the way. We had some dead air because, well, power was knocked out and getting a generator fired up, getting that all back together. So we're actually on a generator here at the radio station. But then you look at Ameren, Illinois, and they're still reporting it's actually gone up. 107,000 customers now without power across the state of Illinois from Ameren, Illinois. So a lot of people without power. Be safe out there. Do what you can to stay cool. Don't forget, though, if you need to escape, you can head out to the Memorial Health Championship presented by LRS. And that's going on. And thanks to sponsorships from LRS and Visit Springfield, no cost. So head over to Landmark Ford Park, get on the shuttle, head over to the Memorial Health Championship presented by LRS, and take in some golf. All right. Have yourselves a wonderful rest of the day. Don't forget what Independence Day is all about. All right. Declare independence. Don't let them do that to you. Raise your own flag. So yeah, make it happen. Remember, we're a constitutional republic, not a democracy. All right. It's 9 o'clock.
From the Fly SPI Studios,